Hi. Hi everyone, welcome. Hi. Ah. I'm gonna be brutally honest. I did some work off stream. Today's third. I did some work off stream. quite a lot of work, in fact. quite a lot of work. I mean, what should we start with? I suppose we could start by. No one is here yet, so I'm not gonna start the opening of a package I've received. But I am gonna turn on the camera. I'm also gonna go and get the equipment that I always forget about. Okay, where do I even begin? How about by turning on the camera? That seems like a good place to begin. Certainly does. %1 power, brilliant. I'm professional, don't worry. Never mind, the other battery is dead as well. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. Okay, fine. Guess we will not start the camera. Guess I'll let the battery charge up a bit before we'll get to the camera. Since no one is here, I suppose that's not that big of a waste. What can I show you? Okay, in the meantime, then we can start with research, I suppose. That's because that will be the actual manipulators of the stream. Because you see, I found some documents. These 4 to be more exact. They have all the information I need. That much I know. They most certainly do have all the information I need. They are in order. Just lights as well. I really need to automate my office a bit more, so I don't have to walk around my kitchen table every single time I want to change something. If only I had the skills required, am I right? All the equipment. So they are left to right. This is the MFRC 522 datasheet, which is the module I'm using to read and write to cards. Just feels quite useful. This is a MIFARE Classic 1K specification for a specific card that I have. It's honestly quite brilliant. It does the breakdown of the block diagrams and function descriptions. Yes, this is pretty useful. Then this one, which is the most useful by far, because the classic user manual actually gives us like a really nice table of all the memory on either a 4K or a 1K, which is really neat with all the sectors and such. And then the last one, which is the most fun by far, it is the dark side of security by obscurity. Nicholas D and I won't be able to pronounce that, but it's absolutely brilliant. And this is basically details if we wanted to crack MIFARE encryption, how to go about it. It's way too advanced for me. I've read through it twice. That's how I know. But with enough effort and alcohol, anything is possible. Okay. I feel like we should start with MIFARE Classic, just to really understand, because we really need to break it down as clear cut as we can. And as such, I'm gonna open up a whiteboard on Discord, which is what I use for noting down my progress, I suppose. But we won't be using the taxi whiteboard. Yeah, this is the engine one. We don't care for that. Child's play. What we actually will need is another whiteboard, which will be this time MIFARE. Well, actually, just date sheets, since I will be using it in the future as well. Brilliant. And that's because I'll need to note down what I read exactly and just understand it, because I feel like even I will struggle with this. My entire shtick is visualizing data, and I feel like even I myself am gonna have a really, really awful time. Okay, where do we begin? How about the beginning? No, that's silly. We're not gonna start the beginning. We're gonna start with, actually, which chapter should we start with? We have memory organization. I mean, yeah, probably. So this is important because each bit comes together to create a byte, which comes together to create a block, which comes together to create a sector. And what's particularly annoying about this is that there are 4 bytes in a block, if I remember correctly. Each 4 has 4 blocks, and each block has 16 bytes. No, there are 16 bytes in a block. Right. So each one of these blocks, each one of these codes represents a byte. Then there is 16 bytes per block. There are 3 blocks per sector, and every single sector ends with a trailer, which has the key A and key B, which has, well, key A and key B, and also the access bits, which specify what we can do with key A and key B. Which means, hi Drash, how you doing? Yeah, but this is just for 1K. Because this is too simple, by the way. This is all way too simple. So just to fucking throw the wrench in there, when it comes to 4K, the first 32 sectors have 3 blocks each, but then the next ones have 8. Because why not? Why not? Might as well. Wait, do they have 8 or do they have more than 8? 16! Sorry, they have 16. The professor took me in on his recommendation for his course on microlocal and semi-class analysis. That sounds good, isn't it good? That sounds good. Good, great. So like you have, I have no idea what microlocal is, or semi-classical analysis. Well, I mean semi-classical analysis is pretty self-explanatory, I suppose. But microlocal. Unless they're both about analyses. Oh, I thought they were 2 separate. I'm such an idiot. Microlocal analysis. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Analysis thing was a success. Great, I'm really glad to hear that then. I'm really glad to hear that. Okay. Blocks my bollocks. I need these little actions of pettiness because otherwise I won't survive through it. Manufacturer data. The manufacturer data, I'm skeptical. Micro-local analysis, the analysis of functions like, as the usual sense, except you analyze the Fourier transform on functions and on functions on the frequency space. I see. That makes sense. That does make sense in that case. Data blocks. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh, I've just got a revelation. Remember when we were trying to read the blocks? We tried 8, 9, 10. That worked, and I was so confused why only 3 worked. Oh, Eureka! 7, 8, 9, 10. 11th is the key. 7th is the key. Goodness gracious me! I hate the fact that there are 3. It's usually powers of 2. Oh, this is... Oh, no, it makes sense. But it makes sense because it's 4. The 4th one you just can't read. Oh, jeez. And we weren't able to write to it because the access bits probably were off. I hate this. And semi-classical, I don't really have a complete idea myself, but it has something to do with analysis of quantum systems or equations taking the limits, they become classical. Hence semi-classical. But I don't know the exact details of the limit or how it's taken or whatever. Yeah, I mean that one, the name makes sense. I don't know what microlocal means. How does it relate to Fourier transform? But semi-classical, the name, I kind of got what that means. Oh, damn it! And now I wanna just turn on the camera and play with it right away, but I shan't because the batteries are dead. So I'm gonna give them some more time to recharge. Eureka already, brilliant. I don't know why it all of a sudden clicked in my head and I was looking at this, because it's completely unrelated. But, so, okay. Block 0 sector 0 has the UID, which we were able to read. What we want to read, however, as well, is the manufacturer data. That will be important, because this should specify what kind of card we're dealing with. I think. We could also just cross our fingers and hope it's MIFARE Classic, which I might do. We might. That is just something I might do. Oh, this is good. This is already pretty good. That's because this already... I mean, this paints the picture, right, on the card. It makes sense. Basically, it's a repeating 1, 2, 3, this and this. There we go. We have the key A, we have key B. We have the access bits. Oh, look at that, how lovely. Not confusing at all. Then we were reading 8, we were reading 9, we were reading 10. When we try to read 11, then I imagine, if I'm not mistaken, A you can never read from, if I remember correctly. Later on there are tables which specify the access bits. Oh, they're separate for each block? Wait, what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3? Oh yeah, because it's for and then byte 9 is user. What does user date? You know what? I won't even. Not getting into it. Maybe someone wants to write down a single number between 0 and 255. They just don't have any more space. That's where they leave it. Hey, I just work here, right? I don't fucking know. So this makes sense then, because as you can see, on key A, we have read on never all the time, which means that if we tried to read from key A, so if we try to read 8, 9, 10, that's fine. If we try to read 11, no matter what the access bits are, it won't let us. Because 11 is 11A as the key. Shan't be read. Simple! Okay, brilliant. I won't memorize any of this because it's pointless. I'm doing this one time, then probably never again. We have the default key, yeah, which is useful because, well, A never be read but can write, can change itself. Yeah. So that's the default. So when we scan the hypothetical card, the thing that started this whole predicament, we'll need to just finger cross that it's everything default, because otherwise we need to deal with this. Transport configuration access bits, right. Okay. We will never be able to write to... Oh, what if we had written something? It just hit me. If we have written something to the 11th byte, 11th block, I'm sorry, then, well, I might as well throw away that sector of the card, because I won't. I basically accidentally said a password. Whoops. Shucks. Dagnabbit. No, this is brilliant. I love it when like date sheets and manuals and all things like these actually go this step further to include all the graphics. Okay, so with all of this in mind, we know now the memory structure of a MIFARE Classic card. Now let's get into hacking it, which starts with chapter 4. This is a brilliant read, regardless. I want to say I would recommend, because I mean, but let's be honest, I know none of you are gonna read it. MIFARE Classic Protocol. The one, the only. Jeez. Consider the typical transaction flow in MIFARE Classic following using simulations. First, the reader and the card engage in anti-collision protocol with the reader learns the unique ID of the card and selects card. That is the first thing we do in our code. I don't have my code with me right now because I would need to plug in the, you know what, screw it, oh yeah, I don't have backup of the code because I just believe that this Raspberry won't fail me. even though even though the way I treat it would suggest to the contrary, to say the least. Okay. Let's sage. It's time to sage. Yup. No, piss off. Speaking of Raspberry never failing me. Ta-da! Alright, brilliant. I'm gonna have you in the top right corner, and I'm gonna have this. Or can I not make this? Ah, whatever. It's good enough. So, basically... no one self... here, there we go. So basically, first anti-collision, which is this, right? Well, no, first we request. We also get the tag type. Huh. How did I not notice that at all in the slightest? Records mode, bit framing, you return status and back bits. Right, to card. Hi there, Remco. How you doing? Find myself for spamming, don't worry. Okay, quick question then, because we get this from tag type attempt request mode. Gotcha. Wait. Oh, it never ends. It never ends. This was pick request. Ideal request all. No idea what ideal means. I've conjured the most beautiful way to go with Hamiltonians. We'll do spill. What's the way? So it's gonna be lovely. What about you? Well, I'm failing to hack a single card. It bothers me. The way is, as always, momentum. I like that then. How are you going with momentum to Hamiltonian? And also from where? From Lagrangian? What's the starting point like? We'll just disregard tag type, Bianca, UID. This is the anti-collision. This is the authentication, because we select the tag and then we authenticate. From Lagrangian, I see. That does make sense, this will finish. Can I combine to think and almost get the Hamiltonian for free? I have no idea what that means. Block. Oh! I'm such a bloody idiot. Yeah, because keys. Oh, I finally understand how the code I've been using for the past 3 days works. Okay, so now I know. Oh, shit. Let's delete these. Because comments bother me. Yeah, trailer block specifies which trailer block we authenticate with. Can I authenticate with 2 blocks at the same time? We can have a call someone this week to revise all that stuff. Put the Hamiltonian all. That would be lovely. You don't have to rush it, but at the same time, I don't know if you've heard, but I probably won't be doing the live stream with Flame anytime soon, because Flame is, with every passing day, hatification. Oh, the fucking hats, right. I hope you mean hats by this. No, I won't have it with Flame, because apparently the more the more Flame learns about Enema, the more terrified he is. So anytime you're ready, I can just work on the physics video. I only work on two things right now, Remco, and that is fix it, and I will be working on the physics of it. I'm gonna put a lot of attention to it, so don't worry, it's gonna be good. This makes so much. Can I authenticate with two blocks at the same time? Can't read it. Keep it into the block number. I don't think so. I mean, we could try to read the entire card, or we could try writing to it. What should we write? We need some kind of copy pasta. Let's call it Monday Eve. If I'll be sober, then yes, absolutely. I'm gonna be out Saturday, so like, I don't know. Today's could be it. So we need some kind of copy pasta, some kind of make it copy pasta. Remco, have you got anything physicky? Give me something. I need something physicsy, some kind of copy pasta. Sorry. Today's cooldown. Well, I don't go off. You know, I need to have that buffer zone. Something physicsy, like what? Well, I don't know. I need something. Okay, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. I have a card, right? This card has 16 times 3 times how many sectors? I can't use the first sector, can I? Where's MIFARE 1k? I'm guessing it's 1k. It could be 4k. I don't know. Times. I won't be doing the 0 of 1. So 15 is 45 times 16. 45 times 16. I have a card onto which I can write 720 characters. And I would like 720 characters. Because I wanna write the entire card and then read the entire card to check my understanding of how the memory functions. She shot me, bang, bang. Oh, there's so much on my desk. Alright. Let me see how much charge I have on the camera. It doesn't have to be exactly 720. It could be more, it could be a bit less. If it's more, I'll need to cut it. If it's less, then I'll just leave the rest empty. Nope, still no battery at all. Brilliant. Damn it! You know what? I'm just gonna work on the code for now. Including spaces. Yes, it does include spaces. You take the snow. MIFARE classic pipe. Okay. If you read this, you're gay. What I was doing so far. There we go. Now we want to set it up as a proper tool. So we'd like to try it. Well, I do also have MIFARE Ultralight. No safety, but I would still like to check if the card I'm scanning is MIFARE Ultralight, I suppose. Yeah. It's way too cold. It's cold enough. Show off. Okay, let me have a thunk. We initialized the reader, yeah. We could also have the simple. Yeah, can we have maybe we should check how initialized. No. Actually, it's gonna be MIFARE Classic, yeah, this will be specialized MIFARE Classic. So what do we need? Right here. we're gonna have the block numbers. Depending on the block, we'll do it sector by sector instead of block by block, because block by block is kind of silly, which means we'd rather pick which sector we write to. Then, depending on that sector, we set the trailer block to the appropriate block number, and we set the block numbers to the appropriate, well, block numbers. Okay, if it's 1K, the nice thing about it is that if we write the code for 1K, it will still work for 4K. We just won't be able to use the other 3000, you know. Alright, let's run this sucker then. We won't write yet, but I'm gonna leave it down. First things first. We want to figure out wanna read or write. So, which sector? Sectors. And for now, let's just do 1, 2, 3. How about that? That feels appropriate. Then, from this, we create block numbers. Yeah, now what will be those block numbers? Sector 0. 0, that's 0, 1, 2, and the third is the key. 4, 5, 6, 7 is the key. Which means we do n times 4, that gives us the first block. So sector times 4 gives us the first block, which means for sector in sectors, block number is equal to sector times 4 plus 2 plus 1. Yeah. There we go. It's splendid. Okay. The data we'll leave for now. We'll get to it back soon. Now, in order to figure out what kind of sector we need to authenticate, that's easy because all we do is just sector times 4 plus 3, and that gives us the appropriate thing. So then we go on, status none, status equal reader okay, right. So if that is just for the sake of not reading the same thing over and over again, we do status tag reader this, if status equal okay, then connection success. Then what we do is we're gonna try to read all of the sectors we specified, which means anti-collision, brilliant, we have a connection. Print UID, I would actually like that. UID. Then we select the tag. After tag has been selected, for sector in sectors, for what am I doing? I don't need this. I don't need the block numbers. Yeah. I do not, in fact. That is true. Okay, data read is actually going to be right here. Trailer block will be equal to, we'll just do this, and this will be sector times 4 plus 3. Key, we're just going to do the default one. UID we keep the same, yeah. So we authenticate. Then for block number and block numbers, no, for block number in this. But in this case, this would be sector, and in previous case, it should also have been a sector. Whoops. Yeah, and then we just read the block, and we keep going. And this, what this should do, is this should read the first, second, and third sector of our MIFARE classic card. If I am not mistaken. Let's find out, shall we? I am just thrilled to find out. The camera will be almost dead, so we don't have much time. %. Not low at all. Okay, we have 2%. Let's make this quick. In which case, let's first hold that it doesn't have any errors, doesn't appear so. Now scan for sector and sectors. You little piece of piss. Haha. Name text undefined. Do you mean next? Where do you have text? Genuinely. Data extend. Yeah, piss this off. Data is not important right now. Shit. So it's AUF error. Okay, what happened? Connection success. We got the UID. Status 0, but then we got the AUF error right away. Default key didn't work, eh? Shucks. Well, let's try just reading the second sector, because that's what we've been reading previously. No. We get AUF error. It could be, because I have 713 characters. I'll take it. I will take it. It could be potentially because I might have accidentally overwritten the key. Which, whoopsie. There we go. I think what I did, it's actually pretty funny. I think I accidentally overwritten the key for this card. So, just for the sake of, I really need like a pen. Why do I have a pen? Oh, this pen's not gonna write on it, is it? Yeah, no. Or like paper tape. Okay. I really need to note down which is which, because soon I'm gonna lose myself. That's gonna be problematic. There we go. This card, that's the one I messed up. Good. Now this one is non-encrypted, this one is, so to this one we can write. Or this would appear so. So let's try to do the same thing, but sectors 1 and 2. Does it work? It does! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 sectors. Well, not, well. Beautiful! Absolutely beautiful! 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That should be the entire card. Let's see. Beautiful. And now let's also do 16 to see if it's 4K. That'll be nice. Haha! It's 1K. Haha! It's 1K classic! I sent on Discord, one of my favorite discounted fun facts. Perfect timing you have, Remco. Because right now is actually exactly when I need it. Star goes boom, and now we have a black hole. Approach the black hole closely because this is... Okay, hold on, let me first... Text is equal to... Star goes boom, now we have a black hole. Approach this black hole very closely because the particle creation from the vacuum. One of the particles is inside the black hole while they escape. The second particle is radiation under the nice temperature beyond. The ones black holes evaporate. When you see the temperature, almost every system becomes higher and the spike. So it is true too. But this implies a black hole has a discrete spectrum, which means it cannot absorb all energy. Similar electron being pick up a photon with some energy, it doesn't jam level gaps. Hence, not everything gets eaten by a black hole. That is a very neat fact. I genuinely didn't know that. Okay. What do we need then? We need this. We need this. Block numbers, which in this case will be equal to sectors times 3. I think. And this should give us... This is the text. In position 646. What? Oh, what? Which character is that? This. Oh, you cheesy little bugger. Remco, you've... Oh, Remco, you've tried, huh? You've tried to sneak in a non-ASCII character. Why is it error? Oh, because we did 16, right? No, it shouldn't. Error while reading? Why are you erroring while reading? Oh, but you were working so beautifully just a second ago. Why must you forsake me? Oh, it's the length of block numbers, by the way. Absolutely not. No, it should be block numbers. This cannot be interpreted as an integer. Ah, length of sectors times 3, you bloody idiot. Reason the previous code could have worked. Okay, there we go. Now it's not out of erroring, which is something. However, my thesis related to this. I have a wavelength of 80 or the higher than the observable universe. That is quite a snag there. String cannot be never as an integer. Oh, because we're doing... Yeah, no, we need data. In this case, I'm an idiot. Ta-da! Okay, but that's not from the card. That's not coming from the card, though. In order to have it come from the card, we first need to write to it. So what we're going to do is... What we're going to write to the card, which means right here we have a read. This is a bit ballsy, what I'm about to do. But I believe... I believe in the system. I believe that everything is correct. It out-errored immediately. Wow. Instantly, huh? This index out of range, but that's from the back data. Oh, what is the problem? Sector times 4, so if we do 0, this would be 1. Okay, so we do first sector. So we do 1, no, we do 4, 5, 6, and then 7th is the trailer. Yeah, no, that's correct. Backdata I broke. Oh, don't tell me I've ruined another card by accidentally overwriting a key. No, I didn't. This is still returning state 0, which means we're reading, but it has nothing on it, which is correct. Every single time. State is 0, 0, 0 all across the board. That's curious, but then at some point it did error while writing. Did I miss something? The sectors. Oh, it wouldn't appear so. They're all identical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it worked fine for 7 sectors. Hi, the Prince Ringo. Hi, welcome. Okay, so it's 7 sectors. It did just fine. 8th sector, it broke. That's a power of 2, which is... Actually, it would be the 8th sector on which it succeeded last. And whenever something with power of 2 happens, that's curious. But now let's try reading it, because it really looks like it wrote just fine on a couple of them. But no, okay, right now we're not printing data from the card though. Now we're gonna print data from the card. Let's see. Nothing. What if the universe is one big photon? I mean, if you think about it. Rinko, by the way, did you like when there's this one quote from I sent from the data sheet, which I just found to be hilarious. It's this one. The RF interface. According to contacted smart cards, I read this. For operation, the carrier field from the reader always needs to be present. This is just a gentle reminder to, you know, to have the electromagnetic field present where you're trying to read radio frequencies. You can't forget about the electromagnetic field when you're reading radio frequencies. You need it. You need the electromagnetic field. It's important. You really shouldn't forget. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh yeah, right. I was trying to figure out why it can't write. Because I'm an idiot. No, not because no, never mind. This is proper. The data is correct and the block number is correct. Backdate on the out of range. What is up with you, my lad? Friction. Never neglect it. No, it's more like when trying to use radio frequencies, don't forget to include the electromagnetic field. I once removed the electromagnetic field from like a cubic meter of space. I just removed the electromagnetic field from it, and then I tried to do radio frequencies inside, and it just didn't work. So yeah, that's correct. Okay. It breaks on a logger. Again, can I just comment out the fucking logger? Appears to not be getting back data. This is a great idea. So it breaks on this line. So what if I were to just like comment it out? Would that help? Oh, that's a bad idea. Okay. Non-time error. Yeah. It isn't writing. Which could be. I have no idea why, honestly, it isn't writing. At least I think it's not writing. Because it doesn't appear to return anything. Oh! It wrote something! Black hole up! It wrote this right here. Why did it write this and nothing else? Oh no. Piss. Damn it. Why did it write only this? How many characters is it? It's gonna be a multiple of 16. $33? Oh, because the space, right? The space is also done. 32. How good it feels to always be correct. So it appears that we cannot write. We only wrote to the third. We only wrote right here to the 6th block, and everything else we failed. That's not great. I'm gonna be brutally honest, that is not great. What we can do is we can... Oh, that's an idea. We can write the entire card and then we can read it. Because now I don't need to comment it in, comment it out. Come on. Black hole up. Why? Just why do you only write on the 6th block? Block. Block number. And then this space, and right here we're going to have block data. Not quite. Yeah, actually kind of quite. Because I'm doing only block. Oh my goodness, I'm such an... Well, I mean, that print is still gonna be useful, but... Ta-da! Party trick! That's my party trick. Right now, Remco, what I have is this card right here, on which, if I hold it up to the reader, I have the entire text you wrote down. I have saved it to this card, and even better, I can encrypt it if I wanted to, which would, in fact, which would be a very, I don't know, this would be something. Physics fun fact, indeed. It's so tempting. You know what's fun about it is that I have this need, I have this internal need to write something important onto one of these cards, or even a bunch of them, because I mean, I do have a whole bunch. Write something important on it, encrypt it, and then just leave it around town, just to see if someone can open it up. It just copies the first sentence over again. Oh, you are correct! Wait, I didn't even notice that. That is correct. Now the question is, why does it copy the first sentence? Because it wrote it then correctly. Because I get set to 0 like this. Don't worry, I gotcha. Bop. Done. And ladies and gentlemen, beautiful. There we go. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty good already. So, I can finally say with confidence that I understand how RFID cards work. At least MIFARE, classic, 1K. let's not get ahead of ourselves, alright? Leave this one around town. No, if I'm gonna leave it around town, I mean, I'm gonna probably do something more like... No, never mind, I'll say nothing. That is... Anyway, so that's the start. We have a card now we can write to and read to, and we understand the memory structure. So now the next thing for us to do would be the more difficult bit. This is gonna be mathematical as well. Okay. Let me just read quickly. Okay. With the process we are 25. Okay. Nice reduce protocol, we can observe. Okay, key vulnerability. I'm skipping to the medium potatoes. I don't want to bore you all too much. I'm gonna bore you, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to do it too much. So, let C be equal to C. Okay, first of all, don't be ridiculous. C is equal to C0, C1, ... C7. So those are all the bytes. Wait, no. Yes. 8-byte cryptogram. Send the card as in 0.4. Independently whether it comes from a genuine transaction where C is equal to this or from a spoof transaction attempt. Okay. 8 party bits that are sent together with the 8 bytes of C. I don't know anything about cryptography, so this is gonna be fun. 1.5 and the probability of about 1 in 256 over the choice of C, PC. The card will nevertheless respond to 4 bits. These 4 bits are the NUC. NUC, I feel like we can find in this case, if I remember correctly. No? Was it this one, really? Was it the MFRC? I was confident that NUC was in one of them. Because acknowledge, not package, acknowledge. Yeah, you do have the ACK for the acknowledge. Oh, because in this case you write it as NUC. What? Awful. Okay. Alright. Run versus the card 4 bits. These 4 bits are the NUC that will be encrypted with the next 4 bits of the key stream, which are the 4 first bits of KS3. Moreover, we were able to guess and confirm by computer simulations when exactly this event occurs. So I've never discovered what one can also learn from this. The card answers with a 4-bit encrypted NUC if and only if the parity bits for the plaintext after decryption are correct. In this way, we ignore how exactly are these parity bits computed, and we need to know that whatever is the spoofed cryptogram C, there is exactly one choice for the 8 parity bits PC, so that the card will reply with a 4-bit encrypted NUC. Okay, so to dumb it down, if we send a dishonest C with a genuine PC, then it will reply with a NUC. But that NUC, crucially, will be encrypted. Some cards are much weaker, it's not what we're interested in. Cross control the time interaction. I do so as well. Random, same random of the card. High probability. Okay. The customer so we can reproduce. Hi the bee, how you doing? Okay. The question is how much keystream we can. The question is how much the keystream. Also, I'm could be wrong, but won't I have to do it for each sector independently? Oh sorry, I'm getting distracted. Okay, the question is how much the keystream KS1 that is produced during the decryption of this 8-byte random, genuine or fake, depends on the actual bits of this random. How much of the keystream that is produced during the decryption of this 8-byte random, actual bits on this random, for example, the first 3 bytes and only a few bits in the 4th byte C3, surprisingly little of KS3. Fact 5.1.1, alright. Okay. The probability of 3 bits of the keystream generated during decryption of the last 3 bits of the 4th byte C3 do not depend on these bits. C3 is very high, but this sentence is an absolute obstacle course. The more I see why people complain about their day and need someone to ask them about it. I'm doing well. Good for you. What are you working on? I'm trying to hack an RFID card. And believe it or not, I found a paper which discusses exactly a critical vulnerability in MIFARE classic cards, which is exactly what I have. The only problem is that it's written by a cryptography expert. Well, by an expert for experts, which I am very much not. So yeah, it's kind of like trying to take a test you haven't studied for. And at the same time, on a class you've never attended, in a college you don't go to. It's kind of like that. That's kind of what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
The probability that the...
That's about right.
Okay, this is honestly an obstacle course of a sentence. The probability that the 3 bits of the key stream generated during the decryption of the last 3 bits of the 4th byte. So when you have all of these, 4th byte, right, has 8 bits. So we're talking about the last 3 bits of this byte. Do not depend on these bits of C3. Do not depend on these bits of C3. So they don't depend on themselves, is that what it means? It's very high, about 0.75. Hack and RFID, don't those come pre-programmable or something? What do you mean? Probability is really high as far as considerations. I suppose I could just look into the crypto one. Crypto one. It was honestly surprising that crypto one was designed specifically for MIFARE cards, if I remember correctly. Create someone for its MIFARE classic. Like, its name is Crypto One. That's such a grand name for RFID cards that are also considered very unsafe. Like a detection system for the RFID tag, am I misunderstanding the point? I'm trying to read an RFID card. I'm trying to read an encrypted RFID card without knowing the key to the encryption. Which means I obviously will need to know the key to the encryption, which is why I need to hack it in order to figure out what the key to the encryption is. Out of curiosity, could I maybe... Crypto One Brute Forcer. Consider my interest peaked in C. Oh, yes. Okay.
Wait, so you can just brute force it, okay?
I mean, you can brute force any kind of... You can brute force, any kind of encryption. It's just that normally it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because...
Normally it would take 14 billion years to do so.
Yeah, normally it's measured in, like, relative distance to the heat death of the universe, sort of thing. I was thinking it would come with the card itself, so we wouldn't have to reverse engineer it. B, I'm talking about the hypothetical scenario here, right? A hypothetical, that's important, hypothetical scenario, in which case I would like to read a card that's not exactly mine. Hypothetical, once again. I don't have much time because at this point it's like, what, 2 days? It's not a lot.
Uh-huh.
To the hypothetical. Hypothetical scenario.
Well, you have 2 days to do this.
Well, yeah, in that hypothetical scenario.
So you're going somewhere, and
hypothetically.
Okay.
Hypothetically.
Interesting. You've piqued my curiosity.
It's all like hypothetical. It's just like, a challenge, right? It's just that I just like enjoy the theme.
Hypothetically be interested in a bit more deep in dive after stream.
Okay. It is very crucial because this could be the key. Pun intended. Haha, you're welcome.
Uh,
So hold on. Let me just make sure I understand it. And what better way to do it than to go right here and then block access? Or maybe right here with the... Oh, jeez. He's planning a heist or something. I wish. I'm not saying I am, but I'm just saying to all the banks out there, if I wanted to, I could. So you better be on your toes. Okay, what we need is a more in-depth view of the authentication, which I think this datasheet will have. The sector to be accessed chosen key A core key B. Yes. Card reads the secret key and the access conditions from the sector trailer. Then the card sends a random number as a challenge to the reader. The reader calculates the response using the secret key and optional input. The response together with random challenge of the reader is then transmitted to card +2. Okay, it's standard. Okay. Okay. So basically, what we get is we get the challenge from the card. Challenge plus key equals output. But since the key is... How many bytes again is the key? It's a ridiculous number, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Oh, yeah, 6! Oh, that's nothing! Hold on. 256 times 256... 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, nothing is not the word to use here, but could be worse. 6 bytes.
That's...
Like, I mean, you have stuff like, you know, SHA-256. That's what I'm familiar with. That's like what I hear when someone says encryption. And in this case, that's 32 bytes. We're dealing with 6, so that's like... could be worse. In this case, we need to... Oh, this is gonna be fun. Text on the MIFARE classic cards. Reading most of the paper. Oh my goodness. Short key length. Yeah, that's what I'm banking on. Oh, the key size 48 bits. Does that sound right? Yes. Brute force is exposed, and line brute force that could be mounted, eliminating the delay caused by communication of the card. Okay, so what do we need? Note that a $100 key cracker will find the key in approximately 1 week. Exactly. That's the problem. Or is it? Because if I set up my own PC as a server, I have fucking 48 hours, not a lot. If I set up my own PC as a server, then if then if I run that code there and if I just use fixit to get the challenge, but we need the solution, won't we?
Make it a question.
Yep.
If hypothetically it was a scenario of you hypothetically cracking some RFID cards, would that hypothetically be illegal? Because I know who somebody once said that on stream. he said very wise words about,
I'm sorry, Cassie, I know what your problem is. I'm cracking my own cards. I bought them, I own them. What are you talking about? The
was
entire
this
time.
guy? I figured it was somebody.
I don't know what you mean because I'm hacking my own cards. That's perfectly fine and legal. What kind of problem is there?
Mm.
I'm effectively just trying to use all the memory on the card, including the memory that stores the keys. And in order that, I would like to crack the keys. You know,
Well,
I know what your problem is. That's perfectly legal.
I mean, saying on the internet that you want to do crimes makes the crime awfully easily traceable to you.
I didn't say I want to do crimes.
It tends to be the case.
I
I mean, yeah, I didn't say that. Of course, obviously didn't say that, but I'm just
I'm
over
sorry. I'm
cautious.
sorry. What are you insinuating here? What are you talking about?
No, no, nothing. No, nothing.
Are you trying to? Because I feel like you're trying to paint me as some kind of common crook, or some kind of a
Hmm.
burglar of sorts. I haven't done anything illegal yet. So I don't know what you mean.
You're testing my nerves, Mikey, today. You're correct. You haven't done any crimes yet.
Yeah.
And there is no reason why we would ever think that you would plan to do any in the future. There's just no possible evidence to concern such an idea.
Exactly. I mean, for crimes. What are that means breaking the law? That's bad.
That's illegal. You can't do
Exactly.
it.
Cassie, that's illegal. Yeah, you can't do these sort of things. The fact that you would even suggest that I would be involved in
I'm just talking hypotheticals. Doesn't have to happen.
such horseplay, honestly.
Horseplay. Yeah, enough horsing it around.
Okay, quick question then, because how would it take them? I'm decided to just try it. Bless me.
Remco, you're not him.
Okay.
Bless you.
CD desktop project surgery, and let's get this. Let's get this crypto one. I know that it's that's not what it stands for, but I always read it as crypto one bullshit. It's crypto one BS. I just always read it as the same
One.
thing. Can I build it without a makefile, please?
You and your crypto one bullshit.
I don't get along well with makefiles. Oh, P-threads, that's nice. Wait, NFC. Oh, I would need to get the. Package for it, wouldn't I? Yeah.
I will not kneel. The only one I kneel is to make it, and that's for a different reason.
Trying to work, damn. Alright. Sudo apt install libnfc. Let's see if it works. It doesn't. Was it NFC dev? It might be. Yes, there we go. Brilliant. I'm just gonna be balling, Let's ball through it.
Let's ball.
And then we're gonna also have crypto one BSC, and then libnfc CryptoCrack. See, anything missing? Crap. Oh, sorry, what now? Oh, that is a local header file.
Header? I barely know her.
Shut up. CryptoBase crack. This one. Includes this one. That's not there. That is not an existent file. I don't like make. Can I? Is it just make? Yeah, this is not existent. This bothers me. I don't like build tools because they confuse me. I'm scared of modern technology. There's enough make it with both of you, Remco and Cassie. Where's that header file from? Also, this included the binary. Just the precompiled binary. I just wanna know. It does look like a precompiled binary. It's pretty large. Oh, cool. Now, quick question: do you actually need that header file, or is it more like a sort of needed? Because if I just remove it, hold on, let's see exactly what errors we're dealing with here. Parity. Yeah, no, that does sound important. I should probably retrieve dependencies because that's probably will be the.
Turns out if you remove half the code, the other half of the code doesn't work anymore.
I haven't removed half the code, that's the problem. Half the code just isn't there. Draw patch. Implementation, no, it's not existent, alright. Attack service crop. Huh? Someone naive brute force. Another implementation with the same attack surface. Called push me. Significant time 10 speed up, damn. Its publication as library is but library. Oh, do I need it? But then why are you linking it? Why are you including it as local? I don't. That's confusing.
Well.
You. I need to be that guy, but I don't think that website exists anymore.
Mighty unhelpful.
Yeah. What else do we have? Crypto decryptor. Decryptor isn't really. Just call it brute forcer. Just call it the brute forcer. Don't call it decryptor. Decryptor is kind of like saying unaliving yourself murder. Recovery MIFARE classic key. That is not used for key recovery. We both know damn well it was useful. Okay, so we have UID, tag challenge, read the response, tag challenge. Okay. Oh, please. This would be lovely. I would need to crack open, pun intended. I suppose kind of, whatever. I would need to crack open the code of the library to actually pull it off.
I feel you need crack. End of line.
I need crack. I do. That's true. RM, RF. Wait, no, this is won't work on Windows, will it? Where's the one I want to delete? Crypto bullshit, right? No offense. I imagine it took a lot of effort to write that, and I imagine if I actually got it to work, it would work perfectly. It's just that whenever I see BS, I do read this bullshit. That's can't blame me. Okay. Wait, I opened no. This is what I meant. Alright. Oh, this is beautiful. I mean, look at this code. Goodness gracious me, that's impressive. It's
You wouldn't make it out like that.
I wouldn't, really wouldn't, would never. You've seen Michael looks like this is off-puttingly good.
No schmodules.
No schmodules. I almost choked on some water. Okay. 2 sets
On
of...
water, yes.
Wait, hold on, I'm getting a bit confused. Working with 2 sets of 32 bits of keystream notification. This does look like hex. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be 4 bytes. Which... Hold on. Oh no, don't tell me it's not what I'm looking for. That's Crypto 1. Oh, Crypto 1 and Crypto 1 could be a different thing. What is Crypto 1? Recover my favorite. So it does appear like it would be the right thing. What I just struggle to understand is just have Crypto 1 calculating it. That makes sense. Hi, the caper. Making it snow my picking up for 26. I live to surprise. I make every day. The structure is one collected during the application process. Yeah, what I struggle to understand is there's 32 bits of keystream notification. 32 bits. That's why I struggle. One set of 64-bit keystream notification. Hold on. What is a keystream then? Because encryption. I don't know. I need to. Okay, cryptography. Yeah. Is a stream of random or pseudo-random characters that combined with a plaintext message to produce an encrypted message. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. But then why 32 bits? See, that's the thing. I am awful at cybersec. I'm more of an, you know, build shit kind of guy. Yeah, I mentioned it. It's fridge is empty and we're still in this game. My fridge is full. My fridge is in fact full right now. I got some fruits in my fridge. Some berries. They're good. Oh, extremely sour. Actually, they're not that good. The curious are the same kitchen hours from Sunday to go. Okay. Cybertext is larger. That's not gonna help you though, is it? Just hold on. This in this case then takes the keystream. I don't understand why. Ah, oh, damn it. I know I should have taken Cryptography 101 instead of taking Pyromania 101. They were on the same day. That was back when I was in wizard school. Me when my password is incorrect, so that the site tells me my password if I'm wrong. Okay. I feel like I'm drunk because I just don't understand this. I'm struggling. Because this takes UID, that much simple. But why does it take... Why does it take it with 4 bytes each? 2, 4. I just don't understand. Hold on, let's look at the code. Like I would, because I have nowhere else to look at this point. I don't know what I'm trying to do. Okay, tag
Look at the
challenge.
beautiful code they made.
Okay, so this is effectively just switching right. Well, actually, what is fun? Fun. Tag challenge, read the response, tag response. Okay. Join the stream before the new Taskmaster Cape, so I'll watch it tomorrow. We're doing cryptography. We're not doing cryptography, Cape. We're struggling. We're failing and crashing. This isn't even my code, very obviously. I mean, look at it, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Doing cryptography is a bit of a, you know,
Overstatement.
it's a high bargain. So far, cryptography is doing us.
I just don't understand what I'm supposed to give it, because the key stream... let's read what the key stream is again. I must have missed something. Or maybe, you know what, let's get back to these, right? Let's get back to specification. Key stream. Okay, it could be abbreviated as KISS. No, alright, gotcha. Key stream. No, okay. Key stream. Okay. Gotcha. 48-bit linear feedback shift register for the state of the cipher. A 2-layer 20-to-1 non-linear function that used to generate the key stream. Amor Plastic starts playing. It's just our Napoleon. There is nothing we can do.
Not the same thing.
A 2-layer 20-to-1 non-linear function. What does that mean? 40-bit linear feedback shift register. Okay, this one at least has a fucking link. Oh, I was about to complain that, why isn't it abbreviated? Of course, nobody would be. It was input as a linear function of its previous state. Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. That's nice.
Necessary.
Of the shift register whose input bit is driven by X or some bit over shift register value. Okay. Let's find something nice. All of these are just like the same thing. They're just them hacking MIFARE. It's comical. None of them are on Wayback Machine. Beautiful. Okay. Introduction. Right. MIFARE Classic. I'm familiar with. I'm also familiar with this. Hardware-wise, I'm pretty good. It's the cryptography that I struggle with. Are you doing like that? This cipher stuff could be a computer science video. I'm just saying. The cards will be a science video on their own. It's not scripting it at all. Listen, Kepa, the issue I have with researching cryptography is that I am very easily bothered by poor naming conventions. And the thing that's so upsetting is that computer science, the field of computer science, is mostly made up of people who are at the same time extremely pretentious and insecure. So they really often try their damnedest to have everything have its own unique acronym its own unique name. Just introducing new terminology where none is needed, it bothers me. And cryptography is the worst fucking part of it. And one day I'll have to, but I will be kicking and screaming before I get into it. Trace circuit in MIFARE Classic. This is where we gather many traces which give us inside how to program MIFARE Classic. In this section, we are playing trace circuits as an example, which some 55, the circuits are partially different. You can sample the screen to discuss them. Anti-collision authentication, yeah, been over, been there. This is then. I like causing crypto, can't even make it saying, yeah, it's awful. It's bloody awful. The pseudorandom generator on the card, which initiates the algorithm by generating a nonce. What the fuck is a nonce? It's weak. In our analysis, we use the weakness to extend the organ was a practical attack, which delivers needed known plaintext for brute force. Any knowledge about the crypto algorithm other than that it is a stream cipher which encrypts bitwise? Okay, if that's all the knowledge we need for this, then fine. Let's get into what that means. And then, well, Firefox, work with me. Okay. Stream cipher. Right, and then encrypts. Okay, bitwise encryption. Oh, so bitwise encryption is a thing. It just means literally encrypting bitwise. That doesn't tell me much. Which encrypts bitwise. Okay, neat. A nonce is a one-time key describing the state. One-time key describing the state. Why is it then fucking called a nonce? What the fuck does the name nonce have to do with any of... I'm getting upset again, it's fine. A symmetric... Okay, stream cipher is a symmetric key cipher where plaintext digits are combined with a pseudo-random cipher digit stream, the key stream. In a stream cipher, each plaintext digit is encrypted one at a time with the corresponding digit of the key stream to give a digit of the ciphertext stream. Since I was Hi, the Tefta, how you doing? Encryption.
We need you so badly.
I don't know. How much do you know about cryptography?
Like it's way too stupid about what he's trying to do right now.
I'm upset as the establishment, and by establishment I mean the twats.
I know.
Hi, the Tefta, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Not well. I'm one. To be fair, it's a pretty significant step, but I'm one step away from finishing the project. But that step is cryptography.
Okay. So there's two types, right? Symmetric and asymmetric.
You're asking right. I don't know anything about cryptography. Nothing.
Yeah. Well, like, I always like to know the high level. So symmetric cryptography means that the same code that encrypts it also decrypts it.
Okay,
that's symmetric.
That's what we're dealing with then, because we're dealing with crypto 1.
Yeah, so that means that both the sender and receiver have the same password. So symmetric encryption is, hey, I'm going to zip this file and password lock it and give it to you and then send you the key. That's symmetric encryption. So the same key that locks it unlocks it, right?
Okay, that makes sense in this case. That does make sense.
The beauty is in asymmetric cryptography, which is how modern cryptography works. That is super cool.
I don't want to get there. I've just had like a little bit of a rant before you joined in about how one day I will have to learn cryptography, but I will be dragged in the kicking and screaming before I actually do it. Because the more I get into technology, the more I see unnecessary abbreviations, and it boils my blood at this point. Because
Oh yeah, there's so
it's
many
awful.
in terms that make no sense.
It's like,
Es-
why do you abbreviate 3 words into an acronym you're gonna use twice? Just note down the words. It's fine. We don't.
Yeah.
We have enough memory on our machines. We can just add some more text.
Yeah.
We don't have to save those extra 13 bytes. I'm okay. I'm fine. Okay. Christian says this. Because I'm trying to crack MIFARE Classic, and it's comical because there are like 17 different PDFs I found detailing exactly how awful MIFARE Classic is. I suppose if I'm gonna get into cracking something, cryptography, MIFARE Classic is a good start.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Crypto One algorithm is a stream cipher, do you know what a stream cipher is?
No, I have not encountered a stream cipher.
Damn it, I don't know either.
But it doesn't matter. It's the same thing, right? So there's some key, and whatever the key, how is it generated? Usually, like there's a salt, because you have to have entropy because of the pseudo-random nature of computers. They can't have random numbers. So a lot of times cryptography, they utilize, that's why the biggest vault for data science has a whole bunch of lava lamps hooked up to a camera, like 100 lava lamps. And that's the salt, or not necessarily the salt, it's the entropy that they're adding to the system to make sure that their encryption mechanism is safe. Because when you break encryption, what you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out, if you understand how they're, jumbling up the letters, and if there's a weak point where you can reduce the number of attempts, so you're brute forcing all possible things. But if you narrow the possible,
that's actually precisely what we're trying to do here. Because MIFARE Classic, from what I've read so far, which I'm gonna be honest, it was a lot. MIFARE Classic relied quite a lot on security through obscurity, apparently, and like the encryption on its own doesn't really stand up quite as well once you remove the obscurity, which is what basically I'm trying to exploit. Like in one of the previous papers, this one is brilliant. In the end, our card attack, there we go. We find a card-only attack on MIFARE Classic that requires 28,500 queries to the card, and another one with 4,000 queries. So if we have 4,000 queries and a pre-computed table, we can crack it, which is good because that's nothing. That's, instant.
Yeah, that's why they have like rainbow tables and hash tables, right? So sometimes they're big leaks. You'll find like hashes of the passwords, which are, deterministic. So you can actually utilize the information you've learned from the data that you get to break it. That's how you break into Wi-Fi. You look at them exchanging the keys back and forth, and if you get enough of them, you get some insight into the encryption mechanism, enough to reduce
all of that theory.
the brute force
All of
attack.
that theory I'm familiar with. The pickle is that right now I am applying it to practice, and the applying it to practice part is really difficult because I have gotten from GitHub this beautiful piece of machinery, which does include the crypto. So wait, not the crypto, the crypto one. There we go. So this right here should allow me to. That works when the state is encrypted in S. Oh, why no? The most important variables I would like to have access to. I'll abbreviate it as well. What is X? What is N? Say what you.
So this is called
Katsi, say
MIFARE.
This MIFARE? I have no. Don't know.
Which encryption algorithm are you trying to break?
Encryption algorithm. Is it gonna be? I'm trying to break into MIFARE Classic, so I'm guessing it's gonna be Crypto One. I don't know.
It's called MIFARE.
Well, Crypto One.
Crypto One.
Katsi, you were complaining about my naming convention, but no one's ever gonna be confused about what a schmodule is, alright? I could have just called it an HM. Then it would be confusing. Okay, this right here. Well, actually, I could just look, instead of looking for a cracker, because I got kind of the reason why I looked up Crypto One on GitHub.
Oh, this is used in RFID smart cards.
Yes, I'm aware.
Oh yeah, well, check out software from Proxmark 2. I actually did this, but not by brute forcing it. I utilized tools. The Proxmark 2 is an RFID reader writer, and I do believe some of the software is open source. So I would look at the Proxmark 2 Crypto 1.
Okay, Tefta, if I may direct your attention to the live stream.
Yeah. So yeah, no, this is actually something I've worked on.
This was.
I just didn't know that this is what it's called. There's so many names that I didn't realize
Oh,
it.
how convenient. This is very convenient. This is comically convenient, even. Comically convenient. But.
Because in order to break, remember I told you about the database centers? They use encryption on those cards. So I was actually in charge of getting the tools to do this.
Comically convenient. This is what I have right now. This right here is fixed. Well, part of it. I had to dismantle the top to make it easier for me to deal with. Like, I just have a whole second layer of all the other stuff that I'm gonna add. But for now, I just dismantled all of this and just left it as bare bones as possible. With just the Raspberry Pi, just the MFRC 522, if I remember correctly. Now, I do have a script, which is this, where I can hold up a card. Now, this is using the default key. I haven't changed the key. I can hold it up, and it does read all of the sectors. In my head, I have the entire memory structure of a card stuck now. I won't be able to get it out till the day I die. Hardware-wise, everything about MIFARE Classic RFID cards, I've basically nailed. Hardware-wise, I have everything. The only piece of the puzzle missing for me is the encryption, because I know nothing about cryptography. So I have no skills to translate. Okay, introduction. Oh, how come
So
we can have perfect experts to explore? Look how beautiful my God. Yeah. So to go on, I didn't.
So it's not like you're trying to duplicate a card that you have access to but don't know who made it. You're trying to make your own cards?
You wish.
Let's
That
say
is what you do.
hypothetically that the first thing you said. Let's say hypothetically that's
Okay,
like
so,
exactly
yeah, if you
what I'm
wanna-
trying to do.
Yeah, so yeah, you want to reverse engineer it so it is encrypted. You can duplicate it quite easily, right? That's not a problem. But
No,
when
that's the issue. It's
yeah,
because
but you want to
each-
modify it because what happens is that there's certain access levels. So if you can change the information and then encrypt it again, was what you're saying. So you
well-
want to say I have privilege 7, I need to change it to privilege 0.
Well, no, basically, like on the card, if we take a look at just a single sector, right? That sector has 3 blocks of information and 1 block of the keys. And in order to get the information, I need the key. So in order to duplicate the card, what I need to do is I need to first crack the key. Fortunately, the key is only 6 bytes. That's the upside. And fortunately, the Crypto 1 encryption apparently is really awful. But those are the only 2 silver linings I have.
It's only 6 bytes?
Yeah, it is. It's only 6 bytes. The trailer is 6 bytes of key A, then I think 4 control bytes, and 6 bytes of key B. I can recheck just to make sure, but if my memory does me well. Was that the trailer? Yeah, there we go. 6 bytes. I was so surprised when I realized it.
Yeah. So that's the problem is that the hardware did this for me. The Proxmark. They have Chinese versions that cost $125 online too.
Oh, that's...
And you can buy
Oh, my
the
budget.
Proxmark 3. Yeah. I didn't have to. There's open source ones. But they handle it. But the thing is I think that the Proxmark Mark 3 Open source? Question mark.
What I think I could do is,
So check this out. The reason why this hardware is the one I used, but this should give you some insight because they'll duplicate it. I don't know if it's going to be helpful for you. But this tool is specifically meant to do what you're looking to do. So
okay, so all I need to do right now is just find find what I'm looking for.
yeah, because it's going to be in here. This is the tool that I use. Well, it's actually the Proxmark 2. This is the Proxmark 3.
Jeez,
They have a
I2C.c. Oh, that's a low level. They had to implement I2C. That's actually pretty funny. Okay,
Yeah,
now
the
you're getting me
Proxmark is.
confused. Print.c.
So this is for the hardware, right?
Yeah.
So it has maybe like a little. How would we go about finding?
Okay, so something.
So I tried to do this with a cheap $9 card reader writer, and I gave up because I had a budget. I was working with a company, so I just ended up buying the tools.
Don't worry, mine isn't $9. It's actually 4.
Okay.
It could be actually less than 4. It could be 2 if I remember correctly, but well. Oh, I don't know if it's going to exactly have what I'm looking for. Or just finding it would be a pain.
So here's, you probably already downloaded this.
Let's see.
It won't let me download.
I already have. This is the 6th PDF I have describing exactly how awful MIFARE Classic is. Hold on, I'm gonna add it to my list.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Like the more the merrier. But it's genuinely. Oh no, sorry, it's the 5th. Pardon me for exaggerating. There's just a lot of them.
The reason I joined is because you used the word nonce, and I haven't.
I don't know what nonce is.
Heard. Yeah, it's come across like I should know. Random nonces.
All right.
A unique arbitrary number used in a specific communication to prevent replay attacks and ensure data freshness and uniqueness.
These guys are Dutch, the authors. You can sniff it out now. MIFARE Classic, yeah, I've read how MIFARE Classic works about 70 different times by now. Hardware, software. Wait, no, this is one of the ones I was reading. Wait, I think this is the. Oh, this is the exact one I was reading when you joined in.
That's awesome.
I knew it was similar. It's funny, I was reading it from Wayback Machine. Brilliant.
Yeah, because they posted this on proxmark.org.
Okay. Weakness, right. Section development attack provides the known plaintext necessary to mount a brute force attack on the key. Using our attack, we recover details about the byte commands. Using the recovered key stream, we can read card content without knowing the key. What? Whoa, wait, what?
Yes,
No, that's
pseudo random generator. They recover the key stream. Interesting.
by requesting many nonces from the card arbitrary times. This is ensure that the random nonce repeats a few times per hour. Well, that's convenient. Oh wait, but that's no. That will have me read from. Oh no, never mind. That's fine. Would shift every 9.44 microseconds. Would key appear after? Huh. That is convenient.
So it takes 5 milliseconds for each attempt, and an exhaustive, yeah, 44,000 years.
Attacks can be mounted trying upper keys. Next round between when cryptographic algorithm is known in an offline brute force attacks. We do know the cryptographic algorithm. It's crypto 1, right?
Well, you don't know what the actual code is, right? How it's jumbling up the data.
Is it not crypto 1 then?
Well, no, but yeah, just because you know the name of the algorithm doesn't mean you know how it functions.
Wait, so see, now you confuse me, because so crypto 1 can be many algorithms.
No, but yeah, crypto 1 is the algorithm, but do you know the algorithm just because of the name?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere on my drive I also have another PDF in which someone else also reverse engineered it.
Oh, so they reverse engineered it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain crypto 1 has been reversed. I mean, I'm pretty certain this is crypto 1. You're making me doubt even that, but I'm pretty certain it's been reverse engineered.
Yes, they've been reverse engineered in 2007 to 2008.
Yeah,
Karsten Knoll and his team.
Oh, never mind. That's not the paper then. Which means that wouldn't it be better to? But then, okay. So then, if I'm getting this right, we scan the card. We take the challenge from the card. We emit a challenge from the reader. We take the response from the card. Using these. Okay, hold on. Let me draw it out to make sense of it. We have our own reader, and then we have the card that's encrypted. We don't know what's on it. When we authenticate, the card issues a challenge to the reader. Now we cannot, in good faith, reply to that challenge in any meaningful way because we don't know the key. But
you can reply with all one character. That's what the published attack says. So you're going to reply with like all Fs. And I guess there's a key stream leakage during a failed authentication. So you need to listen to it. So I'm trying to see the hardware, any NFC reader that can send raw commands. So which reader do you have?
RC522. Yeah, this is the data sheets. Send it. That's the link.
Okay, it should work.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking I would just, because I have the Python library for this, I was thinking I would crack open the Python library. I would, because in this case, I can specify which register I'm writing to, what I'm writing to that register. But I'm
So
struggling to
this
understand the
person,
attack itself.
here you go. Here's the attack from somebody that's published it for that specific device.
But that specific, that's awfully
Yeah.
convenient and honestly kind of a letdown. I
Yeah.
just spent 2 hours on it. That's comical.
Well, I mean, the people that do this, it is very
Difficult.
and time consuming. It's very, very time consuming.
You want to know what the first PDF was? Let me check if I actually downloaded it. I really hope I did. But what the first PDF was when I was doing the MIFARE research. The first about the... I don't think I have it actually. No. But the first one was like just a PDF of them documenting the process of reverse engineering the cards. And what they did is they effectively just took apart the chip and they just scanned images of it, and then they just had some software that would just draw the lines of the connections. And
Oh
they
my
just
God,
reverse engineered the hardware.
That's beautiful.
It was. I was so
amazing.
I was so impressed with it. So I do realize how much effort it takes. I just thought that it just feels. Well, on one hand, it feels kind of like cheating, but on the other hand, I do have like 48 hours, and let's be real, I wouldn't do it anyway. So
You need to, yeah. You're not a hacker. You're just a script kiddie. It's okay. That's the
Ouch.
official term.
Ouch. Still hurts. It's kind of like when people call me an influencer, you know? Like, you're not wrong, but at the same time, ouch.
Yeah. Well, one of my friends actually, he actually does cybersecurity and is a pen tester as well. And he called me a hacker once. I'm like, no, I am a script kiddie. He's like, nah, you should be more confident. I'm like, no, I refuse to call myself.
I have a friend who's also a pen tester, a really, really good one. And they refuse to call themselves a hacker. I always call them a hacker. But they don't even call themselves because they're just, the title is so high.
When you see the stuff that some people do, like take images of,
Yeah, it's modern day spy work. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes sense when you think about it. It's like, when it comes to hardware security, that is just hundreds of thousands of dollars of R&D most of the time, just to invent it. So obviously cracking it is not an easy thing to do.
And a punishable offense if you share encryption mechanisms overseas.
I did not know that. Good to know.
Yeah, well, in the United States, it's espionage. It's illegal to share an encryption algorithm with a foreign, or to sell it or share it. You can't even share it for free, I don't think.
The Raspberry. Oh, it's also doing it on the Raspberry. Oh. The communication between Raspberry and Reader is minimum working class. My class only based on Arduino library. Wait. The key recovery inherits the attack. As a school project, I also made the Windows webpage display the results. Was this a school project? What? Hold on, I need to look into giving them a star. It was 8 years ago, but still, I'm going to.
They'll have 68 stars.
That's more than me. More than me in general, across all the things. Right, hold on. Oh, GitHub didn't even ask me for confirmation. Usually it does. There we go. Okay. Accept crop to crypto library, right? Please also my contribution reference. Okay, so now the only question remains: how does it work? Because what it does is this does crack key. Now, first, why in C++? Why do you need? Why the main file in C++? Oh no!
Just to annoy you.
But everything else in... Oh, because that's the code. Oh, the code they use is in C. The code they made is in C++. Did they implement Never mind. I think my disgust at using C++ over C is offset by the fact that I think they just implemented communication with the RC522 themselves. Which is impressive because I mean it's quite a beefy document.
Yeah. They probably had to in order to take full control over it.
I mean, no, but what I mean is that, you know, they could have just gotten another library and then just used lower abstraction levels of that library. Like, that's what I've been doing when I wanted to play around with it off stream. Like in this library I'm using, right? MFRC in Python. You do have the abstract commands like write and read. It gets really confusing because you have abstract commands like MFRC522 write, but then you have lower level commands like write MFRC522. Not to be confused, they are completely different commands. And the whole point is that this command allows you to like write data to a register, whilst the other one writes from the module to the card. It's simple, they did it on their own. I am a bit confused on how it works exactly, because they mentioned some kind of Arduino library.
Oh, just compile it and look at the code that way. You'll be able to understand it better.
Well, that's the executable.
Yeah, just the raw data. That's how you really soak it in. You know?
That's because, and I get it. The humans are just, you know, awful at naming things. So it's easy when you strip away all the names, all the syntax,
Oh yeah.
all the vibes, all the everything.
Just look at the pattern.
Okay, so right here we run crack key. By the way, this is a baller main file because it just runs crack key. It doesn't like connect the card and then it doesn't do, no, it's just crack key. That's it.
Yeah.
That is great. Crack key. Argument. Alf CMD exploit address block with known key. Oh, that's a big if. Oh, isn't that a big if? Block with a known key? Well, I mean, okay, fingers crossed, it could be possible if we had a card like that some blocks would still have the default key. But how would that help? Because they will also be empty.
What do you mean? The default key is just all one character.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's part of the attack. The attack is that there's a side channel attack that when you send this, you send the default key, which is just a whole bunch of Fs, and it triggers a repeated failed authentication leak. So it will continuously do this, and through that process, some of the information is gathered through the communications.
Yeah, but what I'm confused here is that this function takes in block address E, which right here says it's exploit address blocked with a known key. That's what I need to provide it. I need to provide it the address of a block with a known key. Unless this is... Oh. Okay, one thing at a time, make it. First things first, we need to figure out how it even connects the RC522. Where's the device? This is so confusing. Oh, you can tell they were writing it for some kind of project because everything is so nice and readable. Yuck. I am so confused on how it connects to the RC. Yeah, maybe? Ah! I see. Wiring pie. Okay, I have that. Okay, well, let's try it then. What's the kit for it again? So many tabs open. Which one of them has the thing I'm looking for? There we go, this one. Ah. Okay, there we go. Oh, did I open it in the virtual? Wait, no, you can turn off. Because right here, deactivate. I know that will matter, but just in case. Right. Let's try it. Make. Taylor, can't create build main, no such file directory. This is what you break on. Come on. I make and I don't get along. I don't understand the utility of having generalized like make tools and such, but make and I just don't get along. Okay, quick question then. If I do build main O.
Yeah, you do have to have a known key.
That's bad. That's pretty problematic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh wait, is it correct? Timeout, jeez. Right, fine. Let's try it. It doesn't. I could also just abandon it here. I know how MIFARE classic cards work now. I don't know how the encryption works, but that's maybe Sector 0 key A is often still weak.
So there's a couple. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Actually,
There's a couple of known keys that work often, but if the vendors changed it, so the vendors sometimes have a default one. It's information that you might be able to obtain. If you know where this hypothetical card originated from, like a company,
that's not
you could
bad.
research.
Sector 0, block 0 includes first UID, and then the second half of it is the manufacturer's information. So based on that, you could also figure out what card exactly is it. And based on that, you could maybe figure out if there is a default for sector. It actually makes sense. Sector 0 most likely will not be used for data. Okay, that's a complete guesstimate. Like a genuine leap of faith guesstimate. First of all, I need to figure out how this code even works, because I'll be honest, it's for how readable it is, I can't read it. Because it runs crack key. Crack key. Then crack key takes command block address E, block address A. And in this case, it takes. Oh, what are you? You define it as. Okay, so that's what you run. Gotcha. Authent A is equal to this. So crack key on the other side. Alright. Crack key takes in 4 inputs, we're giving it 3. Right. It takes the command, which authent A makes sense. That would be, yeah. Takes the block address E, which, oh, it's doing 63. Absolutely not. No. Yes? No, wait, 63 is fine. Never mind. The first example was classic 4K, which I don't have. Then block address we're trying to get, which is this. And then takes the key, which isn't provided. Where's the key used? Authenticate manually. Okay, but that requires the key. Why does it not take the key and the cracked key? Am I the idiot here? But like this function most definitely takes 4 inputs. We're giving it 3. Which, I mean, it would make sense if we do something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'll be easier if we do it as char pointer, or char A is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6, like this maybe. But even then it timeouts. Also make. Oh, can that not work? Fine, 255. That still cannot work. Oh yeah, because you initial. Shut up. Unbelievable.
You just told yourself to shut up.
No, I have a mannequin in the corner of my room and it like keeps questioning me. Whenever I make any kind of mistake, it just points it out and bothers me. Oh, I can't.
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, I was just gonna be upset because it's something like, as a C programmer, this is an idiotic error. Invalid conversion from char pointer to byte pointer. Char pointer is literally just a pointer to a bunch of bytes. A char is a byte. AKA unsigned char. Fine. Unsigned. That, you know what, semi-valid. There. I'll take it. Track, still timeout. Okay, so we haven't fixed anything, because we haven't fixed the effect that's actually broken, which is the fact that we get a timeout.
Because it needs to have a card next to it, right?
Either that, or it's not detecting RC522. I can bring a card next to it and see, I suppose.
Because that's what it's going to attempt to do a whole bunch of times.
No, it doesn't work with a card either.
It should take 30 seconds.
That's blazing quick. But to be fair, you do need to know the key. It's a bit of a drawback. Okay, what we're looking for is timeout. This is where it breaks. Which is pick input output. Well, yeah, that sounds like the right thing. Write register. Trying to define is this defined? I'm going to do right here. If this.
So blank keys always have all Fs.
Yeah, that's the default.
So that part should work. And you have a blank key?
Yep.
Awesome.
I haven't wrote any keys yet.
Now you sound like you're hacking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fixing. I'm a C programmer trying to fix C++ code, right? This is. Well, let's say I'm not enjoying myself. I'm guessing that the reason why it doesn't work is because this isn't defined. But that's a complete guesstimate. Let's see. Oh! If with no expression. Oh! Not great. It's... Oh, it's because it's... Oh my goodness, I'm such an idiot.
So you can brute force a key on sector 0 by using a tool. Huh.
C522 this and line. Sixteenth of wait, 16th by 1. H, okay, 16. This has to be 1. Whoa, make. Wiring pi isn't here. Okay, it's fine. I can just, that's a library. Raspberry Pi, wiring pi. Which one is it? The arguably fastest GPIO access library. I love the lack of certainty.
So apparently there's a tool that you can use and download that can brute force the key A, if the default is changed. So you have to download the library for the NFC-dev, and it's a tool called MFOC, I guess.
Okay, in that case we have wiring pi is not. Oh, how did I install it? Why do I need to build it from source? So okay, if we have access to at least one of them, then we have access to the entire thing. And sector 0 appears to be playing it a bit fast and loose, and be either brute forced or alternatively it could be set as default.
Yeah.
Okay, this is good.
So this tool tries the 300 common keys from known vendors.
Oh, that's really nice. Wait, could you link it?
I put it in Discord in the live voice channel.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Chat.
At this point, I got used to you. I do prefer the live voice chat because whenever I click on the stream, my entire like setup of Windows breaks. I just got used to you sending it on YouTube. Wait.
It's not a link. It's text. It's in the
Oh,
live
you
voice
sent
channel
the
chat.
MFOC. Gotcha. MFOC.
I'm using the most advanced AI known to man in order to assist me.
I'm becoming more and more skeptical because recently my Quen has been lying to me more and more. It's just been hallucinating things that don't exist. And yeah, I even gave it, I was giving it more and more tokens, but it just kept hallucinating.
Yeah, so this is actually a paid service AI. They're probably going to think I'm doing something nefarious.
Ken used to question me about what I was doing with MIFARE as well, but eventually stopped, so. I love the thinking, by the way, the reasoning thing. I still love it.
Yeah.
It's great because it lets me know what AI actually thinks of what I'm saying. It's just brilliant.
Did you hear they actually have a they made an AI with only like 7,000 nodes, and it can outperform one with 1 billion?
Really? That's
Yeah, so Samsung apparently, I'm butchering it, but Samsung, they have a super small model with only 2 layers. But what they did was they had it recursively go over its output over and over again. So that way it just refines it. It doesn't give you like a first try. So it's a different type of reasoning. And it's like super, super small.
oh yeah, distillation.
Yeah, I don't know what the term they're using.
I remember a couple years back. My no, hold on. I can. Oh, I haven't the videos in such a long time. I need to check to my subscriptions.
Did you just rebuild Debian Linux on your Pi?
It's. I have no clue, honestly. I was mostly focusing on what you were saying, and I was just blindly copying and pasting the commands from the wiring Pi GitHub.
Oh, okay.
So this cannot start no such file directory. Well, that's what I get for blindly copying and pasting.
What do you?
I'm trying to install wiring Pi. That's
Oh, okay. What's that?
that's like for Raspberry Pi 5 for it to actually use the headers, the
GPIOs?
files. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Miles a couple of years back made a video on distillation. It was actually this concept of like having large AIs train small AIs to become just smaller versions of themselves. And the concept
Yeah.
that if you have that, then you might as well give a lot more computational resources to the large AI, because you might as well go full for quality, because it's gonna get
Yeah.
stronger anyway.
I agree.
Okay, so it does have wiring 3.16 ARM. Sorry, that's on me. I really was just doing it without a thought.
End of.
This sudo apt install wiring Pi. There we go. Blindly copy successful.
Nice.
Download this phone, unsandbox as a root file. I don't care. This is a make it machine. We ball. Now it is MFRC. Now make. Oh, it broke like crazy. Oh, jeez, it broke. Okay, I'm pretty. No, why? In the make file, does it not link? I'm pretty certain you had to link wiring Pi in order for this to work. Link is wiring Pi. Let's see how good I am at what I do. Wow, I'm incredible. I hate make. I with burning passion. It's just that I never bothered to learn it because I didn't see the use, and after all of this time I've spent programming, I still don't see a point. Alright. Rack. Oh, we're still getting a timeout. Let's put the card to it. No, it still doesn't work for the card. Damn it.
You have a card. Oh, and the card doesn't.
I think it's just
Try to
commit to
try it again. Start with the card, because it might be doing that a bunch of times. That could be what it's doing, and those are just some of the loops.
My goodness, you were right. This might take some time.
It's gonna take 30 seconds or longer.
It
But
did find the key. Well, this is actually quite neat now. If this this is actually really neat. Hold on. So every step of this project, because I'm aware that you're busy, you haven't been queuing up. I genuinely don't mean it in a passive aggressive way. I genuinely understand it, but I've been working on it for a fair bit, and one thing I want you to realize is that every step of this project so far, there was a point where it just worked, and it hasn't happened once where I was expecting it to actually work. Every single time I wasn't expecting it to actually work. Every single time I expect it to work, it breaks. Every single time I don't expect it to work, it just like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to... Oh, that's something I should have actually tried doing before this entire journey. But what we would ideally do is we'd like to change the key on one of the sectors and then try to crack that sector.
yeah.
This is quite neat. Okay, last step, but now... but what a step that is.
Do you want to try to get the tool that I linked to, so that way the hypothetical card that you don't have?
The hypothetical. Thank you. I appreciate you for saying that. It is purely hypothetical. 48 hours. That's surely a completely arbitrary time limit.
Yes.
Sudo apt install MFOC from what I've seen, right?
Plus, you also need the libnfc-dev.
libnfc I think I already have installed because...
-dev, okay.
Oh, or wait, I might not actually. First, let me try to install this. Right?
Because you need
Sudo apt
lib.
install NFC. I remember I was installing it for something, but I don't remember if it actually worked for me. Oh no, never mind. I didn't have it. Okay. I was installing it on my computer, right? Not on the Raspberry. Right now we're on the Raspberry. That makes sense. So, MFOC, and then help first, if you don't mind. Okay. File in which the card contents will be written required. It's wild that the only thing required is the file for which to write the file contents. That's the first time ever I've seen a program like this where the only thing required is a file output. Considering how well the standard output exists. No, test. Why not? I'm gonna hold up the card to it. No NFC device found. Okay. PCSCD. Maybe that will work. Can I just sudo apt install? PCSCD. I'll hold the card to it up. No NFC device found. Alright, I'm gonna...
And that's a USB card reader?
No, that's an SPI card reader.
That's probably why.
Yeah, I imagine. I do imagine. Mm-hmm. Oh, quick question actually. How much do you know about SPI?
A very small bit.
You also use mostly I2C, don't you?
I use SPI mostly to read and write to cards, and I have to communicate to some ADCs and some other little integrated circuits.
Well, let me show you what I have. Oh,
I just use it.
First thing...
The stupid... The naming conventions of the pins are stupid.
They are awful.
Like, I hate it because everybody's like, I'm going to use D. Well, that's technically MOSI, but whatever. But they're going to label it the letter D or S or
what bothers me the most is clock. Because CLK, I understand. But CL, yeah. SCL, what is SCL?
SCL,
SCL,
yeah.
SCL. By the way, on this...
Serial clock.
You know what pin chip select is called? I want you to have a guess. On the RC522, what is the
chip? Not CS. That would be too easy.
That would be too easy, wouldn't it?
It's probably like the letter Chinese character for house that's really small on the inside, big on the outside.
No. Tefta, out of curiosity, do you what names do you know for I2C data lines? What names are you often used?
SDA?
Yeah, that's SDA. That is what chip select is on this.
Chip select is SDA.
It is in
Yeah.
fact SDA. I'm pretty certain the reason why is because it can work with I2C and SPI,
Ah,
and so it doubles
yeah.
over. But I still think it's hilarious that SDA is chip select, because that would throw someone for a loop. I was lucky enough that when I was looking through it, I first looked into the integrated circuit and only then the dev board. And the integrated circuit itself works with SPI I2C UART. But if someone was just working dev board, that would have been quite confusing. Oh, but that was the first time. Second tangent, this right here, circuit I have, is lovely. It's a power bank.
Oh, nice.
It's
I
great.
can't see it yet.
It's
Delayed a little bit.
Oh, hold on. I can. Give
Oh
you-
yeah, I have 3 of those.
You have 3 of those. Okay, then.
Yeah,
hold
because
on.
those are amazing. Because if you take out one of the batteries, it still functions.
I know, it's great. So it's a power
It's
bank.
amazing.
I love it because on one side it has 3
sweet.
volts, on the other has 5 volts. It has like all the things. It's great. One downside.
Everything.
One downside. Right here it says be careful plus and minus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not really a warning. That's like genuinely you should be careful. Because I plugged the batteries in, it worked great. The LEDs lit up, it worked great. Then I plugged in the batteries the second time, and the LEDs didn't light up.
Oh no.
So what I thought was like, I must have plugged them in backwards. So I took them out, I flipped them, I plugged them in, and let me tell you, I have never seen a circuit smoke this fast before.
Yeah, there's no reverse polarity. There's so much amperage. So
I am so
they
upset I didn't record it, because right here it's burnt, and it's burnt with like a metallic fire. That was like magnesium. that was as bright as magnesium burning. It was really bright. And I'm so upset that I didn't record it. But the reason why I'm mentioning it right now is because I did get myself a package. The first thing I did after burning the power bank, I was so upset that I did actually order a package. This right here. Let me just open it up. And in this package, I have another 2 power banks because I like them so much. So right now I also have 3, except one of them is burnt. But
it's like the universal for, because if you're running a Raspberry Pi or anything that's a little bit power intense, that those things will give you enough juice. Exactly. And if one of the batteries you need to unplug it, it will still power whatever. You can charge it with a separate charger and plug it back in.
Magnificent.
Amazing.
It's absolutely magnificent. I'm gonna stick one on Fixit to make it portable. It's brilliant. Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
But this was, by the way, a tangent to a tangent to a tangent to a tangent, because the original thing I was asking with SPI, is because as I was buying power banks, I also bought another thing, because free delivery might as well. And the thing I bought is this, which is you can't really see it all well, but it's a display. It's a colored OLED display that I'm gonna put on the front. Well, the front right here.
Is it the TT7? What is the driver chip?
I honestly have no clue. How do you check?
It usually says it on the screen. It'll say like
it's
SST77 or
the controller. Would it be?
Well, it's the name of the people call the screens and the controllers one and the same.
Okay, then in this case it would be ILI9341.
Yeah, ILI9341. I actually have a video on it on my channel.
How convenient.
Yeah, literally. No, I have to.
2 projects down the line. This is what I'm gonna add. 2 projects down the line isn't far from me, by the way. It's gonna be next week. I'm working crazy good. I'm really motivated with this. I'm having so much fun. And so when I include it, I'm gonna also mention your video in my video. I'll give you a bit of a.
Let me make sure it's the ILI.
Oh yeah, but the reason why I was mentioning it is because.
No, okay, so I don't have a video on that one, but I have one, and I've gotten it working. Because mine is actually on the
I'm still
ST77.
I'm still gonna give a shout out to your channel. The reason why I was asking about SPI is because this screen works via SPI.
Yeah.
But I already am using SPI for the RC522, and I imagine if I plug in this screen, then chips. On one hand, I feel like chip select would take care of that, but on the other hand, so I can plug in them just both in at the same time, and chip select will just figure it out.
You just have to be careful, right? Because let's say there's a wire that's frayed, and it could cause interference on both devices, right? So if you have like a bad solder joint on the data cable
I
and
will.
it's connected to two different things, it's going to break both of them. I mean, but you don't have to worry. The voltages are so low, it's not like you're going to break one. It's just you have to be mindful of those.
I
But yeah,
already
the two
fried
things
one
with
of
those,
these. The
there's
previous.
the backlight. So of the screen. So the backlights, the chip select, and you got to look up the documentation because some of them want you to send a pin to a certain send voltage to a certain pin. Because I actually use that ILI. I call it the ILI display driver because
I
it's
know.
easier. It something I had to add a resistor from the 3v3 volts to one of the pins to get it working, but mine looked a little different than yours.
Okay, I will need
So
to
I
do it.
thought it didn't work and was dead, but turns out I just needed one wire.
That's terrifying. When it comes to like these small OLED displays, when they're dead, that's expected. No
Yeah.
electronics should be this cheap and work. Let's be honest. But when it comes to one like this, I would really rather have it work. And this is really neat because
Yeah, those usually work flawlessly.
I don't mean to toot my own horn too much here, but as I mentioned, I like took it apart in order to work on the cards because actually the way it's supposed to look like is it's supposed to have a second layer like this, where right here it has that's for cooling. I need to install a radiator below, but I just don't have one yet. And this is a 12 volt DC brushless motor. And what I'm gonna have is I'm going to have oh my desk is such an absolute mess. What I'm going to have is right here on the side, if I can only find it, there it is, a USB-C charging module for 18650 batteries. It's going to be down like this. It's going to have wires going up for plus and minus, because on the lower deck there will be a single battery, this right here. This will also be on the lower deck. That will be my independent power supply. The two wires will be going up. They will be going into a general PCB like this. From this general PCB, they're gonna go into a motor driver, the tiny one that I've been using. From the motor driver, they will go into a step-up converter, which I've already tested, to jack it up to 12 volts. From the 12 volts, it will go into this, which will mean that I will have a cooling system which can actually function with a motor driver. So the motor driver turns on and on. On the side, I'm going to have a Raspberry Pi Pico connected via UART to the Raspberry Pi 5. And then this Raspberry Pi Pico will control the cooling system, and the Raspberry Pico itself will be controlled via the Raspberry Pi 5. And the neat thing is that on the first shelf, I'm going to have a battery. This battery will be powering all the peripherals, which is Raspberry Pi Pico, including the fan. And on the second shelf, I'm going to have a power bank, which will be powering the Raspberry Pi 5. I am having way too much fun with this project. I gotta say, yesterday, I think I spent just 14 hours.
That was a mask. What is that now? Is that backpack?
No, mask is a completely different thing, yeah. So this is Fix It, say I.
Okay.
Fix It.
Oh, awesome.
It's honestly, actually, this is such a relief because most of the time when people ask me what's Fix It, explaining it gets really annoying. But you actually, since you're familiar with this kind of stuff, I feel like you will get what the explanation of Fix It pretty easily is. Basically, Fix It is meant to be a collective boilerplate. Whenever I need to do anything, I just want to attach it to Fix It instead of creating a whole system for it from scratch. That's the job here.
Yeah, it's like your dev environment. It's like your laboratory for electronics.
That's actually a brilliant analogy. It's basically a minimized lab, a minimized tech lab. But the crucial thing, I know what motivates me to Fix It. I'm doing this for fun. I've never in my life had this much fun with a project, and I know exactly. I've captured exactly what makes it so fun for me, and I know what it is, and that's what I'm going to minimize for. It's the fact that I never need to start over and do things from scratch. Like, for example, in your case, that's a thing that is very important, and it helps a lot, but at the same time, extremely annoying. When you switch from the big band to the elastic band, then what you basically did is you took all the knowledge you've gathered when you were working on the large band and you've applied it to make something completely new. And this completely new thing was orders of magnitude better. But in order to do it, you had to kind of like start from scratch.
And you had to do all these things like the first screen, the first sensor, and it's just like every one of those is like pulling teeth while walking up a mountain.
It's very demotivating because like the knowledge you still have, but it feels like you're just throwing away all your effort that you've done. It
Yeah.
feels like you're just looking at your past self, like, oh yeah, that's nice. That's a nice thing you've got there. Let's just throw it into the trash, and let's just make something that works instead. And what I like about this is that with this, I'll never have to stop, because if eventually I'm gonna run out of space with this, in which case I can just keep adding stuff to the side plates, and if I then the next limit will be the computational power of the Raspberry Pi 5, in which case what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add another one. And so,
Two.
yeah, because you can do it with either Kubernetes or with something else. And this is the part that I'm really looking forward to, how big I can make it before.
That's awesome.
I don't know what's gonna stop me. I'm genuinely curious to see what's going to stop me in this case.
Yeah, because if you have all the stuff connected, you have all the pieces. I think that you'll probably just start making your own components, is my guess. Because you could instead, like, you can make a power bank that had 12 volts built into it.
I know a friend of mine. Oh, that's so nice. A friend of mine. The friend that introduced me to SolidWorks, the engineer.
Yeah.
That friend of mine actually got a machine that's like just like my CNC machine, but with a laser.
Oh yeah.
And it can make PCBs. And I asked them about it, and they said they said that if I wanted to, I could actually use it for making PCBs from time to time. Which means
that's awesome.
I won't have to wait weeks.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that.
But you're just limited by the single layer, which is fine. You just need some jumpers.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Considering how far you've gotten before you switched up to more layers, I feel like I will do well for a really, really long time on a single layer. Because I won't be doing complicated things. I will be doing very simple stuff.
You just have to buy 0 ohm resistors. Because the reason why you need multiple layers is routing. So it's possible that you won't be able to route it on a single layer. So that's where those resistors.
Oh, speaking of,
I kind of want to buy one of those machines because I was thinking about doing that because you can buy the CNC.
I feel like you would do just. I feel like it would really fit you well, because it would cut the weeks of your development process.
Yeah, I might actually have to do that. Although we shall see. Because now I'm actually in charge of a company that is making stuff. So we might even be able to get funding through the company. So
I mean, hey, just also a second title of being in R&D, and all of a sudden it's part of the company. This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. What was I even doing with this? Oh yeah, right, cars. I was trying to, yeah.
I have to leave soon, but it's super weird. Make it that on my email signature it says lead AI engineer.
I told you such a long time ago that you already are an AI expert. It's just that you yourself haven't realized it. And then a couple months later, you are right now literally professionally an AI expert.
Yeah, in the healthcare field, which is weird.
I like that's honestly, I do have to say, there's a lot of anti-AI sentiment as well for very reasonable reasons. And I do have to say, healthcare industry might be one of the very few that this actually skips over. Because
hopefully.
No, I don't think hopefully. I think genuinely. The only complaints I've heard was about insurance, but that's not really health. I don't consider that to be part of healthcare in this case. This is just this is the neatest part of AI, because what I really don't like is I don't like the. If you have to go, by the way, just let me know, because I can keep rambling for hours.
No, I don't get to talk to you very often, so I wanted to hop on a little bit.
A very obvious pet peeve of mine is I don't like it when things are popular science, what people call it most of the time. But I don't like that term because it's very misleading. When basically people take something scientific and then add like a bit of myth around it, a bit of legend to overblow it out of proportion. And I really don't like that. So, an example would help a long way to what I'm basically saying. So, for example, we have a lot of advanced physics theories. Those physics theories make sense under certain conditions and according to certain equations. But then really often those same theories get repeated over, but without the nuisance. And then it's kind of like a game
Yeah.
of telephone, where eventually it ends up as a popular kind of story, completely removed from the original physics aspect of it. And
Yeah.
that's something I really dislike in science communication. I feel like a lot of people really fall into that trap of just talking about the popular neatest thing and completely omitting the science. Where they're not doing science, they're effectively pretending to science. And
They're being public communicators in the field of science. It's more of like that's what I feel.
it's more, honestly, more feels like just an advertisement for the idea of learning science rather than actually teaching science.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like I don't like when people are like, yeah, the Big Bang was exactly 14 trillion. I don't know, I'm just messing up with you. But they're like, they state things as fact. And it's like, wait a second. We don't know this. Like, there should be a disclaimer there based on our modern understanding. But when
Exactly.
there will be videos of people just saying this is this and this is that, and it's like, whoa, buddy.
Yeah, skipping
You're way
over-
too confident.
Skipping over
That's
nuisance and just taking everything as a given with the simplicity. And
That's a quote from Make It. It's not nuance, it's a nuisance.
I'm taking that.
You
But
skipped over the nuance and made it a nuisance.
exactly. And the reason why I start saying is because with AI, the big issue is that the vast loud majority of AI projects are just that, where they're not actually improving anything in any reasonable way. They're just going for the story itself without any science behind it.
Exactly.
But the neat thing is that in this field that you're going into, that's what I like so much, is that in this case, it's actually the useful application of AI. And
Yeah.
and it feels good to just be so just used to AI being used as a sticker to slap onto a project to increase its
Yeah.
applicability, and then all of a sudden turn around and see something that actually uses AI in a reasonable way.
And so, like, I tried to articulate this. I had a meeting yesterday, but it's like what we're looking to do is to create value, not something with AI. So
Exactly.
if you create something with actual value, it's valuable. Don't try to make something sell, just try to make something valuable.
Yeah, the goal.
Somebody wants it, somebody needs it, then that's good.
The goal isn't to make something with AI. The goal is to make something, and AI will most definitely just help with it. You need to
Exactly.
The priorities need to be there, and I think the big problem, the whole well, in this case, I suppose I don't need to go into those politics, but that's the whole sentiment behind the entire anti-capitalist movement, isn't it? The fact that companies are no longer focusing on creating value, only are focused on creating valuable things, but in my opinion, in long term, the strategy of just creating something good is still much better, because
always.
Yeah, it's Boeing, for example. Boeing used to be a great engineering company, absolutely brilliant. Boeing used to be the saying. Wait, I think the saying was, "If it's not Boeing, I ain't going." That was the saying among pilots. It used to be great, but then they all of a sudden went for profit. The exact story is, if I remember correctly, after a certain corporate merger, they went for profit instead of making just good, high-quality planes. And ever since, now their reputation is completely tarnished. Short term, sure, fine strategy. But long term, right now, they're in a really deep hole that they've dug for themselves. So I still think that long term, just trying to make something for the sake of that thing being proper, instead of for the sake of selling that thing, is still a much better strategy.
And that still can be fall within capitalism or pro-capitalism, because
that's what
capitalism says that there's a very good example I heard recently, is that in some communism country, they had, like a store, but they didn't know what to stock in it. And if you think about the logistics behind knowing what to buy for your grocery store, if you don't care about profit, it's easy to mess up and buy way too much bread and not enough lunch meat or something. And so what's interesting is that capitalism allows for a feedback mechanism. Like, if a product is bad, people won't buy it.
Yeah, in this case, I don't want to. The reason why I said I don't want to get into politics is because I just don't know enough about economics, and too many people are already making losing the nuisance again, losing the
Yeah.
nuance and being a nuisance when talking about politics and economics already, which is why I don't want to get into it. In this case, I wasn't like criticizing capitalism. I'm just saying that I feel like the anti-capitalist movement stems from the fact that short term, a lot more people are choosing short term nowadays. But I still think personally that long term is a better strategy. And in this case, that's exactly the idea. I feel like that, honestly, even to investors, that could be a good pitch. On these investors who are worth their salt, saying that, well,
And I think
we can't make something bullshit and we can sell it right now, but in 5 years, or not in 5 years, but in 3 years, we won't even be anywhere.
that's my philosophy, though, is that I think, if I'm working for a job, hopefully I'm producing value, or if I'm doing anything, hopefully it's for the right reasons. And I think my philosophy is that even if you're selfish, but you try to be wise, you'll end up doing the right thing. I think it's when you start to be foolish that things can go off the rails. But that's just a philosophy of mine. I have no clue if it rings true.
I think it's to a certain point. I feel like I think that we have evolved to beat the prisoner's dilemma, which is that if you have two versions of human, right, that evolve, one of them being inherently selfish, the other one not being selfish, the selfish kind will just die off. Because, well, the thing that made humanity so powerful is the society, is the fact that we collaborate together. That's what made us the absolute winners of evolution.
It's like a macroorganism.
Yeah, like on an individual level, a human isn't bad, but we could never get to the point. Well, my goodness, I mean, look at everything I have on my table, right? No single person in their lifetime, even if their lifetime was quadrupled, could ever make all of this from scratch.
Yeah.
So
the travel time to go to all the locations to get the resources alone would be a lifetime or more.
Making just these tweezers would be years to set up an infrastructure. But I think that humans are we have naturally evolved to not be selfish. And it's one thing that just not being selfish is a good idea, like even for a sociopath, because if you are completely selfish, then other people will eventually realize that over time, and reputation, that's not something you can get back from. But on the other hand, you can also trust other people that they won't be selfish on their own. At least that's what I believe. I believe that most humans are much better than we give them credit for. It's the loud majority. The loud majority principle, where the same thing as happens on the internet, where another common myth is that, actually this one's a specific one. When it comes to anti-scientific sentiment, the anti-scientific sentiment, I don't think it stems from people being dumb. I think anti-scientific sentiment stems from the problem with the scientific community, which is that really often, well, not really often actually, I don't think it's really often, but it does sometimes happen. People in the scientific community are very dismissive of things that aren't the status quo. However, I don't think it happens often. I think it happens very, very rarely, but it's a very loud majority where you don't actually have, where most people in the scientific community, at least the ones I've talked to, are very open-minded, but those who are close-minded are very loud, and they expand their presence.
So you'll like that. That reminds me of the Kuhn's revolution, scientific revolution, or paradigm shifts. But you'll like this quote. So I had to try to articulate AI and how not to slap it on as a Band-Aid. And I said that AI is a multiplication factor, right? Yeah. So if you have 0 humans, the multiplication loses its use, right? Because 0 times whatever, still 0. But if you have 1 human times an AI, you can get like the output of 10. But when I came up with that on the fly, I was like, oh, that's the way I was trying to articulate it. 'Cause someone wanted a complete automated system. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like it's probably possible, but it's like something approaching, 1 to infinity. You know what I mean? Like it will get there eventually, but
obviously eventually, like the only point at which we'll get there is if we actually make an AI that's as reliable, I would say, as a human. Which, like, that is the goal, most certainly. No one has any doubt about that.
And
But we shouldn't.
I figured that out. like I so there somebody was asking me, and so the context window of AI, I think, is a good analogy here of a human brain, because we can understand our entire lifetime. Our brains do certain things, but think of the throughput that a human has. Like, we have pretty good recall for an entire week, which is roughly like, I don't know, like 5 million tokens. But we also process visually that isn't necessarily a good analog. So AI, when it comes to like being able to do the throughput of a human, is not there yet. And I think I'm trying to develop a metric to actually.
I don't think a metric would be really tough, because I don't know if that happens to you, but that sometimes happens to me when I just go outside with the music. I just look around the whole world, then I just see an object, and that object all of a sudden like triggers a memory.
Yeah.
And the thing is, for a week, we are pretty decent at remembering things, but we don't remember how many things we actually remember. If
No, so it could be biased.
so in this
thought.
case,
Yeah.
the bigger picture, in my personal opinion, is the fact that human brain doesn't learn in the same way that computers do. Because well, I mean, okay, that was just a given. That's obvious. But when it comes to computers, you save something, and then that something is saved perfectly in that state forever. But when it comes to a brain, it's more like a ball of Play-Doh, where if you keep squishing it over time, then
Yeah.
when you stop after a year, then that shape of Play-Doh will be the effect of every squish that happened beforehand.
Well, that's the same as neural networks, right? So they have the same number of weights to begin with, then at the end after they're trained. So they're stored kind of, you could think of it as holographic type of storing inside of all those weights in some kind of connection, similar to neurons. But I think the throughput of an AI is limited by its context window, which is kind of like our short-term memory. So if we had an online model that actually it used all of the output and input that it took over a day, and during the nighttime for 8 hours it slept and retrained, it'd be very expensive, but you could do it. It still wouldn't be analogous to the amount of input a human can consume, because large language models still mostly process via text. There are multimodal ones, but they do some tricks in order to get some of that information into them. So if you think of AI, because this is like an advanced Turing test. So when AI can match the throughput of a human by the throughput of information through a week, I'm pretty sure we're going to see some profound changes.
I mean,
But I don't
that's
think they've
certainly-
even been designed to do that yet.
I mean, yeah, if you think about it, human can, like, I can right now, and it's not even the
Yeah.
senses that we recognize, even like adding the senses we don't recognize. Right now, I can
Yeah.
talk to you, pick it up, and look at my desk all at the same time, processing everything that happens. This is,
Not literally.
and
It's in
even,
parallel.
Like, visual processing even aside, this is me modeling my environment live based on, well, mostly vision right now alone. That is a crazy.
It's a lot of throughput.
It is.
And so you could even see that the chip that you're looking at is slightly different. And so since the AIs has these neurons, I think as we're getting some technology with like quantization or distillation, whatever we're doing with the AI, we should model it after the brain. Have like two hemispheres, somatosensory cortex. We might actually have these. I honestly think we're gonna mimic the brain in order to get AI to be very similar to us, and then it can actually probably start replacing the
I
jobs.
think that is
But I
what's
think-
going to happen. But in my personal
Yeah.
opinion, I don't think that's the best course of action.
No.
Because I do believe that's what's going to happen, because we have a history with that. But the reason why I don't think it's the best course of action is because people really often bring up examples of when humans imitated nature, right? Nature figured something out and humans imitated it. And that's true.
Plane.
We do imitate nature. Plane's a brilliant example, yeah. And like that is true. We do imitate nature, where we saw that birds could fly, we wanted to build a plane. But if you think about it, if you actually looked at how the bird flies and then try to build a plane like that, you would fail miserably.
Yeah.
And I mean, what about helicopters? So I think that when it comes to, because nature is really limited, evolution always finds the local minima, local maxima. It never finds the global. And the nice thing about intelligence is that intelligence actually allows you to find a global minima and a global maxima. Something that like normally cannot be really computed because you actually need to figure it out. So I think that when it comes to AIs, first of all, I don't think we want AIs to be human. Simply because if you think about it, for not even 99% of human jobs, but what we actually consider a job, it always, you don't actually need the entity performing it to be human, and you would actually prefer it not to be, even when it comes to creative things. So let's say architecture. You wouldn't exactly want a hypothetical entity that creates the best buildings to be a human simply because you would want it to just, well, there are a lot of
Not
things.
kill people if there's a
Exactly.
hurricane,
So-
or not fall over because the wrong concrete was ordered.
Yeah,
or
even like
something.
self-preservation, for example. You don't. There are certain things you don't that it doesn't need. There are certain things that you specifically don't want it to have, and there are certain things that you would like it to have, but you don't. That the human doesn't necessarily. So, for example, if you have, I don't know, an AI modeling bridges, it might not necessarily want to have vision. I know I'm pulling it out of my head right now, completely an example, so it's not perfect. But what I mean is that, like, or even, okay, maybe better. You have an AI that's trying to figure out the best places to grow food. In that case, it wouldn't maybe need vision. And it would be maybe better for it to, instead of having vision, to have some kind of ground sensing machinery, whatever, some sensors. But what I'm saying is that I believe that trying to make AIs as human as possible is, on one hand, could be dangerous. On second hand, well, deeply troubling existentially. I mean, existential crises everyone has already, and then they just continue to get worse. And third of all, it's a huge wasted opportunity. Because we can find better global maximas to min-max our AIs for more specific purposes.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because I think AI is a lot different than what the layperson kind of understands. And the reason why certain things are taking slower or longer to develop, I think, are because of the throughput issue right now. So believe it or not, you can put in a lot of information, but it's still bottlenecked. So I think I'm trying to design a roadmap that when certain technologies are figured out, that I'll be able to isolate what is now possible with that. Because it seems like right now we're in an exponential growth, because AI allows people to have lots of assistants help them to design stuff. For example, I used it for open muscle. And so the more that we have AI that are helpful, doesn't even matter if they're similar to humans or not, they're going to do a lot of disruptive things to our economy or our lives. And so I'm trying to predict the future, I guess. And I had an epiphany when I realized that the throughput of a human, because it's like the advanced Turing test, because what Alan Turing talked about, a long time ago, still is applicable today. But now we need people to come up with more advanced theories about the future. A lot of that exists in sci-fi and some scientific literature, and Robert Miles talks about AI safety. But we need a new Alan Turing to start looking at, the next century, I guess.
The next computer, basically.
Yeah,
the computer in quotes,
because
you know what I mean.
This is like post Turing, I guess. Which is weird because it almost seemed like we would forever be within the realm of what Alan Turing, theorized and talked about. But now it's like we are post that.
It is certainly odd because there's a certain point where you realize how much grander AI as a technology is from all the past breakthroughs. It's so awful because on one hand you have this usage of our current day AIs, which is things like just slapping
AI girlfriends.
Actually, that's a brilliant example. Yeah, either that or slapping an AI sticker onto an already existing product. You have like these awful uses, but then you look at the technology in isolation, and technology, it's it's genuinely might be like right up there with agriculture, right up there with electricity, right up there with information age. It's just
Yeah.
the next step. It's just so grand. Honestly, I kind of like that because on one hand, it is obviously awful, terrifying that no one needs to. Well, everyone knows that. But one thing I like about this is that there are certain things we, for a really long time, believed to be impossible.
Yeah.
But with this technology, we could actually test the limits because this is basically, well, iterative intelligence, the thing that made humanity win the
Yeah.
game of evolution. But this time, a way for us to crank it up based on just time and resources.
Yeah, and it's funny because like understanding AI, it's like, wow, it should just become a singularity because of where it's going. But then you realize that the amount of work. So life is interesting because life replicates itself. So the point at which kind of like, what is it? A Turing complete AI. So you have an AI that can actually write itself. Robert Miles, I believe, talks about this. That is scary. Is that when you have, and people are working on that right now, they're using synthetic data to actually train AIs, but you are running into some entropy problems because it's like there's some chaos in the data if you get humans out of the loop because they can kind of go off rails. That's why I'm trying to make these robots that are always on AIs, so that way they will constantly be plugged into some kind of sensor. And I think we need some new architecture, but
The physics book.
there's so many things that could be innovated right now. There's infinite. And that necessarily wasn't the case 5 years ago. That's what's so weird.
I mean,
So many things are now within a single person's lifetime's grasp.
Isn't it
10 years or even 2 years that was not possible
That
at all
is like
5 years.
another thing because I've already grown used to it. I've complained about my Quen hallucinating. I've complained about my Quen not understanding the code. To be fair, it was my code, so I did give it that code specifically because I knew it wouldn't understand it. But at the same time, it's kind of wild to think that like 6 years ago, just generating text wasn't a thing. I mean, obviously existed for a long time, but like the way we use it right now, 6 years ago, goodness gracious me,
Yeah.
that is such a short amount of time for a technology that's just infiltrated everything so much. I mean, I get why, but still, like 6 years ago, if you wanted to, I don't know,
generate an article for a website, or if you wanted to ask a question.
That's a pretty shitty usage. I'm trying to find a usage.
So how about Stack Overflow? You wanted an answer to a coding question that no one had asked a question to. There's no one you can ask.
I mean, yeah,
maybe
exactly.
you find someone from a forum, but now if nothing exists, the AI will hallucinate a pretty darn good answer.
Or
some of
even
those
easier.
hallucinations are emergent properties.
Or even easier, if 6 years ago you wanted to set up a security camera and then you wanted to see if some kind of burglar breaks into your house, then normally what you would need to do, well, I imagine there were systems even 6 years ago that could do that, but for a common person, you would need to hire a person to just look at the feed, see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We have live visual processing now. That's madness. Live visual processing. Okay, visual processing. Obviously, visual processing doesn't mean now what it meant fucking a decade ago. A decade ago, visual processing meant that you could recognize a digit using an algorithm, not an AI. That was visual processing. Keying out colors or basic rotoscoping based on algorithms that can determine contrast. Like that was visual processing. And now we can have visual processing of the sorts where you can just ask it, can you see a picture of a dog? That is maddening. And we take it for granted. This is wild.
It's kind of funny though, to generate an image, it usually takes about 66% of a full phone charge. when an AI generates an image. That was like, a year or two ago, but
That's still
literally we're expending so much energy to have a fake clown slash hot dog.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know.
another thing. Well, that's a bit more upsetting thought for you, I imagine. But I still am curious. What do you think about the AI bubble?
Yeah, so there's definitely an AI bubble because a lot of people aren't trying to get value. They understand it's like the gold rush, right?
Yeah.
Whoever started the gold rush in America, they found gold, they're like, oh wow, then a whole bunch of people flood to it. I think what happens is people are just trying to capitalize off it that are,
Yeah,
greedy. Then
that's
you have
most
people. Yeah. So that's going to happen. They're going to put AI into everything. The biggest danger of that is cybersecurity because when you have vibe coded stuff, there's going to be so many security holes that people are going to get burned a lot in the future, is my opinion.
I
And
think
so
it already
then there's
happens
going to
right
be some.
now. It's not even in the future. I mean, I've seen it a lot.
Yeah. So it's going to happen more. And so there's probably going to be regulated. But yes. So that's why I'm excited to actually be affiliated with groups that are making real value.
I
So a
mean,
lot of this stuff isn't quick turnaround. It's designing something that's going to be useful.
yeah, that's exactly a nice thing, right? In this case, you're actually investing in something that is genuinely just trying to make something useful, not trying to slap AI on it. But the
Yeah,
same,
and I'm in charge of it. So
yeah,
that's
exactly. I trust you with this.
yeah. Well, and the other company, I'm actually in charge of that of the implementation of AI. So how to do that. It's very fascinating. But I think there's going to be a bubble but the thing is that there's going to be innovations that's not AI. Like there's an example I bring up in my meetings. There was a guy that was like an MIT researcher. He dropped out of MIT or Harvard. I can't remember, some weird school. And instead of making an AI, because he was in there for computer science, he had a company that just took like phone records or data and cleaned up the data because he knew that the AI boom is going to create a lot of need for data. So intelligent people, like in the gold rush, you don't want to be,
You want to be selling
mining
shovels.
for gold. You want to be selling shovels. So this MIT student understood. So right now we actually have a data emergency that people don't know about, but you can kind of abstractly understand this, like how much information we've never mapped every cell in the human body, right? We haven't even hooked multiple people up to all the types of sensors and had them wear these sensors for the period of a year, let alone 10 years. So the amount of data we have is so minimal that I think we didn't realize how small it was. So right now we're in a data scarcity moment, and AI is causing a problem by creating like bad data. So I
I
think if
think
people are really,
it is a
yeah,
beautiful example of irony, though, because the thing is, a lot of the entire experiment of making all the AIs larger and larger instead of specializing them, instead of figuring out how to make them useful, making them bigger. I think
yeah,
it's just a beautiful example of irony where right now that idea of just making them bigger and then when they're big enough we'll eventually figure out what to do with them is poisoning the pool to the point where it's not even useless, it's actively harmful.
I think so. I think it is actively harmful because now how do we filter what is good or not? So I actually said this, and I probably even told it to you, we need to quantize truth. Like that's what we need to be working on. And that's like a lot of my brain power is devoted to quantizing truth because of the alignment
That's a
problem.
very ambitious, I do have to say. Every single time you say it, it's just like
Yeah. And it's not a difficult task, really. It's just a tedious one. We have to find a quantization method for truth to be able to work on alignment. And so I've actually been diving into cognitive behavioral therapy. There's some terms called cognitive dissonances. But I think we need like a logical map of stupidity and intelligence. So we need to actually start designing systems I think we need to mature. That's the answer. AI is able to bring about all this information and show us how immature we are. And I think that is probably going to hit people over the next decade. And so I'm trying to work on things that are going to be important in 10 years because people might not see it now, but it's kind of written on the wind or written on the walls, whatever the idiom is. But we are in a data scarcity moment. So we need to be capturing data, designing data capture mechanisms, and we need to be able to flag data as good versus bad. And until we have that, we are going to run into lots of problems.
I mean, I think tedious is one part of it, but I feel like ethically this is going to be very challenging because
I don't think so.
Well, because not even okay. Let's put apart like privacy issues. Let's put them apart. Let's just say that everything is consent, everything is proper, European Union style. Don't mean to brag, but let's just say that truth, for example, quantizing truth.
Yeah.
You have a statement that's controversial, or you have some kind of information that's controversial. Depending on who's in charge, it might change whether it's considered true or false.
That's the problem with general consensus truth right now. So you're talking about truth as textbooks, which is essentially the truth we live in now. Whoever is in charge creates the rules. Well, that's where we live in right now.
Whoever is in charge makes it sound as if there is someone in charge, but like whoever is in charge of the place that presents it. Oh, there we go. Because I mean, there is no matter what environment you pick in, there will always be people who are for the truth and against the truth, and the truth in this case in quotes, obviously. I mean, so you know, if you have, once again, it's the easiest one to go with science for me. So if you have my Discord server, then the truth is that the Earth is a globe, because I'm in charge of that Discord server, and I believe that all the satellites are actually orbiting the Earth. I don't think it's fake. But if there is someone on some kind of other Discord server of flat earthers, then their truth would be that that the Earth is flat. So now, if depending on which one of us, if I get, or if the owner of that hypothetical server, depending on which one of us gets into a position where they can train their own AI, then that AI will have wildly different facts. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
I understand, yeah. So we'll have to, in order to talk about this, we'll have to share a common definition of what the truth is. So let's just assume that reality isn't changed by our beliefs, but there exists an objective reality as modern science describes it.
Yeah, but then the ethical problem again. Well, listen, I'll be brutally honest. I would love to take that as a definition because I don't know if you know this, but I'm a bit of a science enjoyer.
Well, let's do that for this conversation because, so in this case, it simplifies it quite easily. But
yeah, but I mean, the problem I'm having is that there will be a lot of people who don't believe science. Now, I don't agree.
Sure, that's fine.
I don't agree with them, but my problem is that from their perspective, like, I would just be making AIs that are lying to them.
Well, okay, so yeah, that's our problem that we have now. So why do we want to quantize truth? So that way we have a metric, or it's probably going to be multiple metrics, to then judge something off of. So whatever system that you use to quantize truth, it's not going to be a single number. Yeah, but it's not going to be 95% true.
No, but what my problem is in this case is it feels like the completeness of it is what. So let's say that you create this sort of system. You have X amount of variables that determines the different variables of truthiness, depending on which variable we're talking about, different aspect of it.
And this is exactly what I spend the majority of my time thinking about.
Now let's say that we have another person whose name is Anti-Tefta.
Yeah.
Very creative. And they came up with a different system for truth. How do you then evaluate which system for truth is more truth-worthy?
Yeah, again, this is our modern problem. So this is the problem we exist now. Like, how do you define truth currently? Like, so if we adopted this system, the system would have to be adopted by people with differing views, right? Yeah. So the system shouldn't exist if there's two people from two different religions, let's just say, because those are pretty, opinionated. So you have two different opposite religions, pick X and Y, and both people should agree on the truth mechanism or the logistics behind it, and that that would be a requirement of this system before it's even implemented.
I mean, obviously,
Then you could easily say that it's too impossible, but I say no, it's not impossible. It's just complicated. And so you could do this. So imagine Wikipedia, but you had 5 different tabs. Or let's say that there's 100 different tabs. So each tab that you clicked on would give you a different value of truth for the same article.
One thing I want to make clear here, because the thing is, I don't think it's necessarily impossible. Okay, I think it's impossible if you're trying to get like truth with probability of 1. I think then it's like mathematically possible. But I don't. But to get just a metric of a quantity, I don't think that's impossible. Like we already accept in real life, when you measure the mass of an object, you're never expecting it to have the perfect mass. From a physics point of view, literally impossible to get the perfect mass. So it's fine. The highest precision is possible. My problem is that from my perspective, that sort of thing already exists and it's science.
Yeah.
Like the added issue there would be the theory of information. How do you quantize it in terms of how do you actually add a quantity there? Like, in that case, I understand perfectly. The problem I'm having is that what about people who don't believe science gives you that?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is a system would have to take into account the basic modern theories of truth, which there's not too many, actually. There's a finite amount of them. And you can categorize infinite items into a finite category. That's not impossible. So your difficulty is categorizing the limited number. So that's going to be a big chunk of the effort. What are those categories that you're going to break it into? Let's say that there's 5 of them. Doesn't matter what they are, A, B, C, D, E. So every element or every item, it's going to be more complicated than that, would have a value for A and a value for B, a value for C, D, and E. And each of those respectively were a different kind of world view on truth. Now you use all of them together. The reason why you're making this is because you need a 0 point in order to know where you're at, right? So the whole point of this system is to say, this is likely truthful given these metrics. This is likely false given these metrics. So essentially, we're kind of making a different type of point cloud in multidimensional space. Kind of what AIs do already.
I get what you mean. It's from my perspective though, it just really feels like you have a hypothesis. Then you perform an experiment, and the experiment tells you the probability that your hypothesis is correct. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So I guess the core truths are in categories. Like history is one of the core truths, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what has happened in the past. And then we kind of have science as like, what's the nature of reality? There's philosophy, there's,
No, or maybe I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
I think I just don't understand it in this case.
It's lofty. It's super lofty, but I believe the stuff that Alan Turing was thinking about was lofty in his time. Right? But I think we need people to be working on these hard problems right now because of the problems AI is going to cause.
I mean, obviously, yeah. I just don't think I understand it. That is all. I don't
understand it either.
I don't want to, on one hand, either criticize it or support it, because I don't think I get enough to criticize or support it. In this case, I'm washing off my hands. I'm just building stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, eventually we'll have to.
I'll probably die without finishing it, but
I really like.
I tried nonetheless.
I know it's a bit of a tangent, but in Westworld, I really like how AIs were portrayed. Because on one hand, you had the premise, which is that AIs that are meant to look like human act human. Like, those are the most basic. But then eventually, a bit of a spoiler here, season 3.
Okay.
Ooh, big spoiler. You learn that actually the main usage of AI is different. And the way they're showcased is like these massive, just building-sized massive machines, which are just computers. And all they do is they are just models trying to predict the future. And that was like, and awesome. I feel like that is where we're going. That's the goal, isn't it? instead of trying to make predictive text, eventually the ones that will have the most computational resources, the ones that will give most computational resources, will be AIs that are just straight up will try to predict the future. Since in that case you have a very clear, you have a very clear data, because all you need to do is just give it reality, just give it senses, try to predict the future output of those senses. So the process of gathering data for that sort of thing is really simple and is very pure. There's no, it isn't poisoned by anything. Even if you have other AIs running, that wouldn't poison the data pool for that kind of AI, because it also needs to account for other intelligent systems. I'm just
that's the
throughput.
funny thing I think I've told you is that if you don't say anything and you just sit in silence and observe the world, the only thing that you witness is the truth.
Yeah.
And it's funny because words are abstractions in and of themselves. They're distillations of concepts that don't completely define the concepts that they're describing. And history is a bunch of narratives, which are simplifications of complex events written by the victors, right? So what's funny is language in and of itself is far from the truth inherently because of its nature.
I think that data-wise, nothing. See, truth is where I'm lost, because truth is very tricky. It's a very tricky. Like, it feels like if you have a system, in order to actually talk about the truth of the system, you would need to be outside of it.
Yeah.
Because it really feels that way. Because otherwise, whenever you say truth, whenever anyone says truth, what I get in my head is like probability of 1. Which I just, it's a really hard time existing. I will be brutally honest. As you know, I don't concern myself with those kinds of questions much, simply because I just don't have it in me. I don't have the bone, the philosophy bone in me that makes it interesting to me. And as such, I don't hate them, because I mean, to each their own. I spend my time making a graphical engine for Column 3 so that I can have a screen on my Raspberry Pi. Like, no, I'm not making it for utility's sake. I'm not on a high horse here. It's just that it never was for me. So to me, I never really concern myself with truth. It just bothers me sometimes when people come to me as with. That's the problematic thing. When people think that they know something as true, like completely and utterly true, because that does happen quite a lot. Then they tend to be way more confident they should be in their statements, and I think that's really dangerous.
I think so too.
The whole thing. Also, another thing you mentioned: history is written by the victorious.
Yeah.
I think that's not actually the case, because if you think about it, the best counterexample I always have of that, like the easiest one, is the fact that there are Wikipedia articles of known controversies with the CIA. There is, and so I think that history is documented by the victorious, most certainly, but if you're not taking history at face value, only if you're just like assuming that history is lying to you when you research it, then I think you can get what actually happens, despite what the victors may want. So
I think so too. You can probably uncover some of that stuff, but we wouldn't know. That's one of the problems, is that 1,000 years ago, the stuff that was written down.
No, but no. My point is specifically that, like, I think that this kind of erasure of history works in the immediate term. It doesn't work long term, because what happened 1,000 years ago, what was written down, doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
None of the documents survived. However, context has. Whatever happened 1,000 years ago has influenced our very present day in a pretty significant way. So based on how it's a very difficult task, the further back you go, but based on how the world is in the current state, are you gonna go party tomorrow already? Tomorrow? Oh, it is past midnight, isn't it? Who said about the party? It's a purely hypothetical event, Remco.
And I gotta go. I gotta go.
Yeah, I'm sorry for keeping you so much. I told you I was gonna rant.
Yep. Well, I love it. I love it.
Well,
But I gotta
thank you.
go. I gotta eat some food.
All right, bye. Have a good one. Thank you so much for the help.
See-
I'm gonna add your channel to the video.
Thank
All right, there we go. Are you gonna go to the hypothetical party on Friday? Saturday. Right? Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Oh, let me check my calendar. Yes, Saturday. Hypothetically, of course. I'm not saying it's a. What party? No? I might bother you tomorrow afternoon and evening. If it's about the video, you can bother me. You can even try to bother me if I'm away. It's just that I am not confident I'll be able to respond. I'm gonna go as well. Because no one's watching. This was just me having a chat with Tefta. It was a great chat. I've enjoyed it. So I'm gonna go as well. I'm gonna also eat something. I was eating berries this entire time because there were some on a discount, frozen berries. I just had them defrosting in the background, just snacking on them. I'm gonna go cook myself a more substantial meal. I finished Trip Out to the Huts. Oh, that is a lot. So many questions and less intuition, and I'll try to apply to it my magic make it touch to make it intuitive. I'll try my best. We'll see what we can come up with. Well then, all right, Remco. Then tomorrow, just let me know when, and we'll voice chat and we'll plan the live stream and the video, and we'll see how intuitive we can make it. And for now, that'll be it. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a